I'd like to show you something.
The pace when I'm running, I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm
You have to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky?
Woo! Welcome back. I'm surprised we hadn't used this photo this entire time for Burt Reynolds month, but here we are, better late than never. And you know what? This fourth time is going to be the wildest one of the bunch. So, yeah, part 4, Burt Reynolds month. This is our conclusion. And I feel like we're going out with a very fast bang with this one. I'm absolutely stoked for this. I mean, this is like, it's like everything is built to this moment. So, how you all doing? Good to see you all here. Thank you for being here early. We've got Backdoor Gerry here, which is going to be good too. No Dustin tonight. Dustin will be missed. Dustin is missed. Shout out to Dustin Keto Simple. Go subscribe to Keto Simple. And of course, 70s will be here when he's here. But let's acknowledge some quick faces here. Hey, oh, look it. We got Mr. Zen in 1994. Hello, sir. Hey, Ben Dowdy. Welcome to the show. I like your avatar, Aaron Ratliff. Hello, Stephen Mack. Hello, the mighty Vulcan lives eastbound and down. Yes, sir, eastbound. Dude, the song of songs. Hey, Animal Confusa. Nice to see you here. Right on time for the Backdoor Gerry to be here. Darth Viewer. FKHC 2005. D-Bud Martin. Poke Race 6666. Welcome, guys, and you're here early. And for once, we're not over 5 minutes late, which is like rare for us now. So this is good. We got to be better about that. And hopefully this is the beginning of the trend now of us being closer to on time, if not on time. So, yeah, this is it, guys. I mean, we started with The Longest Yard. We did White Lightning. And then last week we went full horror with Deliverance. And now tonight with Smokey and the Bandit. And yes, like Chuck Norris before him, there will be a Burt Reynolds month part 2. I mean, there's still the best little whorehouse in Texas. There's still Malone as well. There's other flicks. Like, we still got a lot of Burt to cover the same way we do a lot of Chuck Norris. So we will get there, and it's going to be huge. It's going to be great. It's going to be absolutely bigly. Hey, Jonathan Conroy, how you doing? Joe Dog, welcome, gentlemen. Inverse Opinion. Yeah, the bodies are piling up. 11 Alpha. Yeah, Shadow Chaser. I love seeing this. See, this is what gets me excited, seeing all the faces here. But let's bring in some dudes here. We're gonna slide in the first dude here, and that dude is Mark D with a C. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Getting ready to see some cool Smokey and the Bandit and some bitch tonight, right?
Oh,
I
dude,
got my Smokey car. I feel
like this is a little extra exciting. Yeah, dude, seeing that Trans Am on there is awesome. What's up, Juggalo?
The box that came with
it. Dude. Oh, nice. Oh, dude. Mark. Oh, hold on. I'm going to zoom in on you really quick. Just as sure. Yeah, better look at that Trans Am because that is spoken. Wow. I see that Spider-Man bubble.
The only problem is is there's no Sally Field with in there, so it would have been looked a lot better with Sally Field.
Sure,
Or this,
Matt
this
Morgan
picture
didn't
there.
take it
Yeah.
out? I can see
Yeah.
Matt doing that. You
We're
know how
getting
spiteful he
we-
is.
we're getting Mad Mooned there. But yeah, no, it's this is a fun movie. I mean, it's not, it's not a rocket science movie, but who cares? I mean, never winning an Academy Award, but this movie's a laugh a second. I mean, it's just great. And Jackie Gleason, I love Jackie Gleason from the Honeymooners, and Fred Flintstone, basically said he could have sued CBS for the Flintstones because it's basically the Honeymooners. So if you don't know the Honeymooners, if you've ever watched the Flintstones, Jackie Gleason is Fred Flintstone. But yeah, just some great stuff. And yeah,
Great performance, by the way, from him. Seriously, him as T. Justice, I mean, is a work of greatness. We'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, let the other
goodness.
boys in. Yeah.
Good to have you here, Mark. And
Thank you. I got some clips coming.
You've already brought greatness to the show, and we're just getting started. And let's bring in the Midnighter himself, who I was just hanging out with. What, a few minutes ago? It's like I feel like I see you now every few hours. How's it going, Tom?
Long time. Get that sumbitch.
Thanks to you, I have a Blu-ray of this. Thanks to you.
That's right.
From the Milwaukee meetup, and it contained that Blu-ray that you gave me. That Blu-ray came with the Bandit documentary too.
Yes, it does.
Great, absolutely awesome to have. So yeah, folks, when you get the Smokey and the Bandit Blu-ray, definitely get it, because now you get the full classic movie, but you get it with the freaking documentary titled The Bandit, and that alone is worth the price of admission. And you get the movie on top of that. Woo! That's why physical media is still a wonderful thing.
Totally agree. And yeah, this is a classic. As I've said before, any other year this movie comes out and it's the biggest movie of the year.
No,
it just happened to come out the same year as Saturday Night Fever and Star Wars. So yeah.
Oh God, yeah. No, it's once again, it shows you how good like they had it in 1977. They were really bouncing back, because obviously there were some tough times in the world in the 70s, and then all of a sudden, boom, like all come these like badass movies. It's like, man, that is a bounce back, and that's something that I would like to see like in current year. Like, hey, we got some hard times in the world, and no, I didn't live through that time, but I'm sure we have our own version of them. So why can we not have a bounce back as well for the movies? Because wouldn't that be cool if we just had like a bounce back equivalent to this? Because man, it would get the bodies roaring. But who knows, man? Maybe that's a conversation for another day. But a man can dream, and we will all dream of that possibility. I know it was in the top 5. I know it was on top
I can't remember which one it was now. Let me see here.
I'll look up the rank, because I already know the budget and the money it made. And of course, you can adjust that for inflation. We can look at that.
Because I think the funny thing is wasn't Close Encounters is the funny one. Yeah, see, that's the one that. So I'm trying to remember when it was released. Yeah, because it was released so late in the year. But a lot of people consider that one a 78 film. But yes, technically it would. Technically, Close Encounters pushes Smokey down to 4th place. That is correct.
Well, do they count it as a calendar or with an in-year release? Because
within-year release. It's kind of the same thing. Yeah.
Because that, like, with the whole, like, I know with like a lot of the December awards movie comes out. I always still counted them as a, let's just say, Titanic. I still consider that a 1997 movie, because it came out in 1997. Yeah, obviously it played all the way into like July of 98, but still, to me, I was just like, okay, that's still a 1997 movie. So
either way, it was still huge. Any other year it comes out, like it just happened to come out in the same year as a bunch of other huge films. So yeah. Speaking of huge, I think we got a bunch of huge.
We got
don't exclude the dudes.
We got dudes in the back door. I dream of having that vibrate. I bet
my friend actually had a replica of that, basically.
Ooh, nice. Well, we got a man who's here, and he is.
Look who's here.
Good evening.
same as that 70s rock fan.
Finally, we're getting some mustache action. Finally.
Yeah.
Isn't that ironic? We were joking around that. Like, for Burt Reynolds month, it took 4 weeks to finally get to a movie where he had a mustache.
Give us the tash. The tickler. Yeah, that's this is great. I distinctly remember going to see this at the cinema as a young lad, and it was thrilling, exciting stuff. It was Burt was huge in the UK. Huge. So it was a very exciting experience going to see this back in the day. So it's great to do this one at last.
Yeah, no, it's about damn time. This really is one of those ones where it's just like, how did we not get here soon? But good to have you here, dude. Happy to hang out with you. All right. And of course, we got the red shirt, just another red shirt. How are you?
I am great. And boy, have I been looking forward to this movie. This is a fun movie. And regarding the stash 70s, one of the talk show appearance Burt was on after he grew it the first time, he was talked into shaving half of it off so they could compare his face with a mustache by putting a card in front of one side, then put the card in front of the other side with the mustache or without the mustache. The audience all said, keep the mustache. He said, well, you picked a hell of a time to tell me. Now he's sitting there with half a mustache.
We forget how big a star he was then. Just
God,
such a big star.
He was huge.
I mean, he's one of the first actors I remember knowing by name as a kid.
Yeah. I mean, he also said in one interview about that that you showed it earlier, Nick, the centerfold in Cosmopolitan. He said, there are some people who've never forgiven me for doing that. And he paused and then he said, and I'm one of them.
Yeah, right.
In retrospect, perhaps not the best decision. But...
Yeah, no, that came out. He said that came out right before Deliverance did.
And everybody forgets that Burt's biggest hit was Lonnie.
Yeah.
Come on, that's funny. It's been long enough.
Yeah, no.
That's what she said.
All right. We got another dude in the back, and he's one of those dudes. Sometimes he's best put in the back for things, and
he likes it in the back.
He likes to be in the back for things. And you know what? I even put him now in the description. I even put him in the description as Backdoor Gerry. Welcome back to the front.
Hi guys. One, there is a backdoor. I clipped it for our channel when the girl says, "We're right here with you, watching your back door," and it's near the end of the film, in the third act. Two, I wanted to point out that this film actually came out the same weekend as Star Wars.
Yeah,
they're 2 days apart in their releases. One Star Wars on the 25th, and Bandit was like on the 27th. And I remember going to see it the same weekend with Star Wars.
Yeah, nobody knew Star Wars was going to be anything.
Yeah. Fox was not expecting it to do anything. It's really funny because I personally feel that for 77, the two big hits of that year were Star Wars and Bandit, with Close Encounters running third place, because as big a hit as it was nothing compared to
Saturday Night Fever was real big too, but like, I can't remember when that was released. Was that released later in the year too?
June, I think.
No. One of those was November 5th, 14th or 15th, and the other one was December 14th or 15th. So that was Saturday Night Fever and Close Encounters were both.
That's what I mean. Because like growing up, I always knew those two movies as 78 films. It wasn't until more recent years.
It was December.
Yeah.
December.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to go see Saturday Night Fever, a movie about disco dancing. Good God, no.
I've never seen it.
Not at the time.
I've never seen the movie to this day. Or it's
fucking with my hair. Why is everybody always fucking with my hair?
It's actually a great movie.
I work really hard on my hair.
Yeah.
Actually, shout out to Globby.
Good movie. Yeah.
You're supposed to be here tonight. You are missed, sir. Thank you for dropping by in the chat. Shout out to
I love Clobbery. He's my buddy.
I do not love the Clobbery. I'm just saying. At least we got us 6 dudes piled up, which is nice.
You got enough
Wow,
dudes.
that's
But
we
women
got 6 dudes piled up. It's a really good ratio of dudes. I mean, it's just the way Mad Mardigan like it. You
Hey,
know,
look.
by
It's
this
a big
logic,
ass and a
God
jacket.
damn,
That's the
she
one
had a
which
hell of an
switch.
ass.
is
She
Mad
did do
Mardigan
that.
pro censorship? If we want to get technical here, does that make Mad pro censorship like this? What do you is Mad Mardigan pro censorship?
He doesn't want us looking at Sally Field's ass, is what it is.
Yeah, he
He
made me
burnt
do that.
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
Base.
too many women in this movie. She was in it way too much.
And they fell in love while making this film.
They did.
There's
yeah.
only really one
Yeah.
woman in the movie. The only other woman is mentioned, really, and that's
Yeah, you
Well,
got
Junior's mom.
Deliverance
But
and
that's too much for Mad.
waitresses.
Oh yeah, the waitresses. Yeah,
Deliverance was mostly dudes. You saw like a
It was
few
all
ladies who, like
dudes.
had like
I don't recall
Or-
seeing any women until you're at the hospital.
who
Yes.
had some important parts. Yeah, the waitress who served Buford and Bandit, which that great scene, of course. And of course you have obviously South. The other thing, you had the Southern ladies who were at all the shindigs that all the guys are hanging out at. So you know there's a share of them here. It's not like Deliverance, or Deliverance is like a shameless dude festival.
Hey, it's the same font from Lethal Weapon.
it kind of is.
It
Isn't it?
does look like
Yeah,
it.
it looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah, see, listless. She knows. She's like, Deliverance was all dudes with maybe a nurse at the end.
You
Yeah,
didn't see any
pretty
women
much.
to the hospital.
So okay, so as we get right into the thick of it here with these slideshow courtesy of Mark D with the C.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
hello Brian McCann. Yeah. So because I apparently, and I didn't notice until I did a little more extra horror. I always do my horror, but this one I went a little extra in
Mhm.
because of how much I love.
Went deeper into it.
I went, dude.
He
I
It's
found
deep.
I found a new hole. Like that's how deep I went for this.
Bonus hole.
Yeah, so where did it come from? He's so damn
So,
fat, you never
with
know
this
where
one-
the next one's coming from.
I learned about what it was like for the casting of Sally Field's character, and I thought, okay, because she was obviously just Carrie, not Carrie with a last name, but just Carrie, and she went by the nickname Frog because we'll get into that later. And apparently, Burt Reynolds was really invested on casting her for this movie, and apparently they're like, "Oh, well, she's not like."
Oh,
this,
he was invested, all right.
Oh,
Mm.
we can get to that investment. We'll build there. We'll work our way into just like Bert did. But for us, as we build, Bert, because apparently he got some pushback, like, hey, she's not like this, like I guess you said like a modeling type lady, and he was just like, oh.
No, but she's got
talent.
that Southern belle quality to her.
Yeah.
And not only that, she's got that not dirty, but like that girl who's not afraid to get her feet dirty is what I meant to try and say.
Yeah.
Dirty.
Kind
Well,
of country girl thing about her. Yeah.
Bert's
Yeah, but
words
she was-
were her talent is sexy. You know what that
Yeah.
means?
He was talking about her ass.
Well,
Yeah.
probably was, but also she was very fitting for the part.
She's
She was
hilarious.
good for
I
the part.
mean, we've learned obviously that Sally Field is one of the greats because we like her. We really, really like her.
Yeah.
Oscar.
You got to remember in the
Flying Nun?
I mean, the Flying Nun is what she was last remembered, really
Yeah.
most remembered
Owning
for by
Gidget.
this point. Yeah, but the Flying Nun eclipsed Gidget,
Yeah.
and
But I still like Gidget 'cause-
she's thought of as a young Catholic nun. Now, however impudent she might have been in that show as a character, watching her crawl around the inside of a Firebird with Burt Reynolds driving 105 miles an hour.
Trying to change her
wasn't really
clothes
what
out
the
of a wedding
studio
dress.
had in. Yeah, it wasn't what the
Well, you
studio
gotta
had in
admit,
mind.
though, Redshirt, that it helped because she was typecast because of the Flying Nun,
Yeah,
and this movie kind of helped break that mold.
yeah.
And then
Which
she
is
would go
funny
on
because
to
I
win
thought
an
she
Oscar
said
for
in an
Loma Ray.
interview that the only reason she did the Flying Nun pilot is because she thought the concept was so stupid it would never get picked up or
It would
something
never
like
get
that.
picked up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Best nun since Shirley MacLaine.
Yeah. I mean,
No.
yeah, no, you guys are right. Like growing up, she was basically the Flying Nun and the chick from Smokey and the Bandit for me. So yeah.
Now I do want to point
until
this
finally
as
years
from-
later, Norma
from
Ray
the
came around and all that
70s.
stuff. But
What do you
That
want to point at,
Coors-
Gerry?
Coors. Coors
Yes,
did not
beer.
travel past the Mississippi.
Is that
for
true, or is that
years.
like an urban
Yes.
legend?
no, it's
True.
absolutely
Because of the
true.
fact they didn't have refrigerated trucks, and
Right.
it could not be transported; it would go bad, and it was
Wasn't
considered
pasteurized.
bootlegging if you tried to. And my dad and I, Dad raised me in Virginia, and we didn't have Coors until close to 79, 80. And they started using refrigerated trucks, and that's when they were allowed to transport it.
Right. Well, they were allowed to transport it. They just Coors refused to do so because they couldn't guarantee the quality of the beer when it arrived, and they didn't want to have to buy it back from the liquor stores if it arrived spoiled.
Yep.
But the idea that it was bootlegging was just made up for the film.
For the film.
Yeah, it's not. It's just where they got the idea was when they were doing the film Gator. Some of the Hollywood types brought Coors with them, and I think it was one of them discovered that the beer was disappearing from his fridge, and he figured out that it was his housekeeper who was taking a beer, and he confronted her. He said, "Why are you taking Coors?" She says, "Because you can't get it around here. I can get $25 a 6-pack for this stuff."
Well, the bootlegging actually is a real thing. What it comes in is your unlicensed transporter. That's part of it, at least from my understanding, was back in the day too.
That might be, but I think the main
Because my grandma owned a bar. My dad worked. Yeah, so that was kind of what I was told when I was a kid too.
Well, I
driving
think
across state lines without the license was the big deal. Yeah,
and I think it was because Coors refused to issue licenses. They refused to license it east of the Mississippi because they were like, it'll never get there in good shape. It's complicated. It's not that the government just said you can't do it. It's that the company decided they didn't want to, and as a result, the law said you couldn't have it there and sell it commercially. You could take it in your luggage and stuff, but yeah, selling it commercially in the East Coast was frowned upon because the company said, no, we're not distributing east of the Mississippi. I mean, it was a really weird gray area, and it's kind of funny because, quite frankly, as microbrews came along, people started to realize that Coors was like making love in a canoe.
Yeah. But I do want to point something out too historically is that I-45, which goes from Illinois down to Louisiana and Florida, was funded by Al Capone. And my grandfather was a runner. He used to drive booze for Capone back in the day. For
my uncle sold shoes to Al Capone because he used to run a thing called a shoe store when that was an actual thing back in a town called Cicero. So yeah,
that is
Capone, right outside Chicago. I used to live in Cicero when it was a bit of a better neighborhood per se. Bit of a better neighborhood. So Matthew here has a great comment I want to highlight because I think I know what line he's alluding to. He's alluded to the line where he compared the midget guy to being like a lady. And I thought, oh man, rewatching that, I'm like, oh man, that is absolutely cancel worthy because he said to midget, it's like something along the lines like pipe down, little lady. I was just like,
yeah,
oh,
watch your mouth. No, he says, watch your mouth, little lady.
He said that to a midget. I was just like, oh man, that would. And he said this lady's things on her hair looks like a radio station or something like that too.
Yeah.
I was just like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, his verse, Matthew Marcillo has it right. He becomes toxic with his very first line. He sticks his hat up, and it's the first time he's seen the two of them together. So Reynolds said that was a genuine laugh on his part. And then he delivers the line, it must be a bitch getting a 68 fat and a 12 dwarf.
Yeah, 12 dwarf.
And today, that's it. Canceled. You're out of here.
Oh, I love your suits. It must be a bitch getting a size 68 extra fat and a 12 dwarf.
Oh, that's another lie. I missed that one, Mark. I'm so glad you got that. So right off the bat, he's just toxic line a minute at this.
Oh, yeah.
He's just spitting out toxicity. He's oozing it. He is, man, that is great. And here he picks up our boy here, who's very central. Cletus. Cletus is not only the guy who carries the booze, but he also, as an actor, Gerry Reed, rest in peace. He made a certain song for this movie. What's that song called, guys? I mean, the one that
down.
Yeah, the one that he wrote in an hour.
Gerry composed every song for the movie with one other songwriter. So the ballad of they call him the Bandit. That's Gerry Reed, and he composed it. So all the songs are Gerry Reed. But Eastbound and Down, he started to play it, and for the director, whose name I just gone blank on, Hal Needham. He's playing it. He starts to play it for Hal Needham. I don't know. Hal Needham must have had a funny look on his face or something, because Gerry Reed stopped playing. He says, "Well, I can change it if you want." And Needham said to him, "If you change one word or note of that song, I'll strangle you."
Yeah, I heard about that. I'm like, right? You know what? I get it. It's one of those songs where you hear kind of like an instantaneous thing. Like, oh, that's the hook right there. It has that instantly memorable hook that right away, and it stakes with you, which is what a good catchy song is supposed to do anyway. When you have a hook, they're like, oh, boom, that's it. That's the hook. And you can't help but like have it be stuck in your head. Sometimes you accidentally end up humming it, maybe even sing it, depending on who you are.
It's an earworm. It is an earworm song.
It is.
Yeah.
And Gerry Reed knew how to write songs, so yeah, that helps.
Oh yeah. I love the fact that when they start out for Arkansas, by changing just 2 lines, the song becomes Westbound and Down. And they're headed for Arkansas or Texarkana. They're headed for Texas and Texarkana to pick up the chorus. And then, of course, the song that's the one, because it was played so many more times in the movie, Eastbound and Down, when they're on their way back, is most of the movie. But it's a great song. And both directions of the trip, which I thought was amazing. If you listen to it, all the words are the same in both versions, except Westbound and Down, keep that rig a-rolling, I believe is the line. And with those 2 changes, that's the 2 versions of this. This is where he's doing Westbound and Down in this scene right here of these slides. So it is one of the catchiest tunes ever composed for a movie. It's an earworm. I've done it in karaoke. I love the song.
Nice. You did it in karaoke, dude?
Yeah, I've done Eastbound and Down at karaoke.
Oh, I want to hear that. You got my attention with that one, man. Like, seriously? Oh, my mind is kind of blown right now. Oh, wow.
Not as well as Gerry Reed did, that's for damn sure.
Okay, probably, but still, to hear just another red shirt singing that, come on, man. That is fantastic. Oh, I love that.
And that song is just perfect for the movie too. I mean, just maybe you don't like country music, or you don't like all kinds of music like country and western, but just perfect for the movie. Yeah, both kinds. Yeah,
it's one of those things that really fits the context. Even if I obviously I'm probably the most obvious one here, but normally this type of music is not my thing, but this is one of those outliers for me in that regard. I think it probably helps.
Well, it's borderline country western is the turnoff, but rockabilly feel to it too.
I think that's probably what helps it for me is the rockabilly with the banjo. That banjo really does add.
And at the time this movie come out, like this music was, besides disco, probably the most listened to. Like this is the era of Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers, that kind of stuff. So
how fitting!
Gerry Reed fit right in there. So like, it was that rhinestone cowboy age was in full effect.
Oh yeah, rhinestone cowboy, good one. That was Glenn Campbell. Glenn Campbell. Love that stuff. And Paul Williams, also a songwriter, is in this movie.
Paul Williams, also a country western / musical songwriter.
Phantom of the Paradise.
He did Phantom of the Paradise. He did a bunch of music for the Muppets.
The next film
for the Love Boat.
Yep.
In fact, the next film, The End, with Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise and Sally Field, Paul ended up composing the end theme song for that film. Another Fine Mess, which is great too.
So, what is Texarkana? I want to ask you guys. I purposely went on my way to not look it up.
It's a town.
It's a city. It's a city very close to. It's a city in Texas, very close to the Arkansas border.
Yeah, I've been there.
That's where the swamps are, and that swamp thing creature.
Oh, okay.
It's a great place to pass through.
What was that creature called that lived in Texarkana? What was that thing called? No. It's Foggy Creek Monster. That was it.
Oh, Foggy Mountain Breakdown.
I haven't heard it, but okay. We get the first introduction to the Trans Am, which I learned that apparently after this car was really well exposed for this movie, and it looks like it drives beautifully. I remember when my first exposure to seeing one was I was in middle school. I remember seeing one in person. I had a friend in middle school who was like, "Yeah, my brother got a Trans Am. You want to go for a ride in it?" I'm like, I got nothing going on. And before you know it, his brother, I hear something loud coming down the street. I think I remember one of my parents calling, like, "What's that loud noise?" I'm like, "Oh no, my friend's brother got that car." And then before you know, we hop in the car, and I remember the loudness of it, and it was awesome. It blew that was probably the first time I was actually probably really truly impressed by cars, because I wouldn't say I was ever a car guy in terms of like obsession, but that really that's probably the first thing that really whetted my appetite towards cars, and it was cool to see and hear in person. Being driving around, we went on this road area, and we went to the middle of nowhere on this road called Roller Coaster Road in that car. What a cruise that was. So yeah, every time I see this car, I can't help but think of that moment. This car, apparently Burt Reynolds was supposed to own Pontiac for life after this movie.
They owed him, yeah.
There's a twist. He was told from the president at the time that he was going to get one for life, and then he waited, and then nothing happened. And after nothing happened, he tried to reach out, and he found out that the president who initially promised him, stepped down. And then a new president came in, and it was just like, yeah, that's not going to happen. It's like, bro.
Right.
So the good news is Burt probably made enough money from just this movie to buy Trans Ams for life.
He bought one. He did. He says, "So I wound up having to buy one."
But they did so much free advertising for Pontiac. It's the opposite of M&M's and ET. I mean, when they went with Reese's Pieces, but I mean, Pontiac should have given 20 cars. I mean, when the sales went up 700% after this movie.
Yeah, they went from 64,000 sales the previous year to over 93,000 after this movie.
Wow.
And not only that, but Hot Wheels made a ton of money, because I was one of the first ones to buy the Hot Wheels Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am.
You know what else this did, though, Gary? And certainly in the UK, it started a craze for CB radios in cars.
Yes,
I'm not surprised.
That's true. I forgot I didn't forget about it, but I mean, now that you mention
everybody wanted one after this, and then Convoy, then the movie Convoy next year,
and that really irritated the hell out of the truckers.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
Because there were all these
everybody
civilians.
Ant on the CB.
Yeah,
I bet it was annoying.
And they're all switching. If you haven't used a radio like this, Marine VHF is the same way. You have what's called a hailing channel. That's 19 on the CB. So this is where you get breaker 19. That means I need to find somebody. Mm-hmm. Once you get them, you switch to a different channel, both of you, and you get off the hailing channel so that other people can use it.
Right.
And the problem is that civilians would sit there twiddling this channel knob on their CB, looking for truckers talking, and then start talking to them, breaking in on their conversation, which is very much not the done thing. So, yeah, it pissed off the truckers that everybody out there was running around with a CB in their car.
Well, that's what led to the horror of Joyride, if you remember. By the way, the term, what is it called? Smoke and choke, which is a term for cafes. Smoke
puke and choke.
Or puke and choke has a completely different meaning in Scotland.
I'll show one of my catalogs from the 70s later.
Dirty bastard.
Yeah,
So
with,
Brian
with
Barth,
not that kind of catalog, but with all the CB radios, and for a while,
Oh, they were great.
There were pages and
Any of
pages.
you guys
Oh,
have the toy car?
Which car?
The Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am they put out by Hot Wheels.
Mark did. Mark,
I had it too.
the exact one, but Mark had a. Mark
I
had
probably did at one point.
Yeah, you probably did. You probably actually did at one point. That's the funny part. You probably
I always got pissed off because the way it was made, the wheels weren't aligned right, and it would never win on the track.
It was a slow car. Yeah,
it was a slow car.
Yeah.
So Brian Bart, to answer your question really quick, who has a better role? Here's my answer: yes.
Yeah.
Think about it. You got Bandit, who gets to be the cruiser, and then you got Jackie Gleason with a badass name with Buford T. Justice, who's going off on his son Junior the entire movie with rant delivery by the minute, and we're entertained because he's a very funny rant.
Ain't no way you came from
bitches couldn't close an umbrella.
Now I'm gonna punch your mama in the mouth.
Yeah, when I get home,
Yeah.
I'm gonna punch your mama right in the mouth.
That was. I mean, Jackie Gleason's role was almost entirely ad-libbed.
Yes,
as he said, Hal Needham would stick his head in the window and say, "All right, you're going to drive up there to the top of the hill. You're going to see Bandit. What are you going to say?"
Mm-hmm.
And Gleason would have to think for a minute, come up with a line to say, and he'd say, "All right, let's do it."
And it always shocked me that he never got a nomination.
No,
because he made this movie great.
He did. He should have gotten the best supporting actor for this.
Absolutely should have.
But they only had that one scene with Smokey and the Bandit together, and they said on the making of documentary that after that one scene, Reynolds didn't want to do.
Oh, in the restaurant, yeah.
Yeah, this scene here.
Let me have a Diablo sandwich, a Dr. Pepper. Make it fast. I'm in a goddamn hurry.
And that was Gleason's idea, by the way.
Yes.
Yep. Hi, it's Handy Randy.
Hey, Handy Randy.
Hey, Andy Randy.
Did you operate a CB radio, Handy Randy, or it must be tough to?
Well, he couldn't do a very good
He just
job,
operates
yeah.
a C. There's no B. You can't reach the B.
I don't recognize his name, but I just want to get a quick shout out to John Graber, the space jockey. Welcome to a channel in case you haven't been here before or you're just commenting now. But he says, "Oh, what is this? People have had an impact for entertainment." I want to highlight the name of Hal Needham because this is relevant to the movie. Hal Needham was not notorious for being a directorial type. He was a stunt guy. He was in the military, and he was a stunt guy who got pretty much into this position of directing this movie. And when you think about what comes out in current year with the Fast and Furious movies, and then you see what happens with Smokey and the Bandit, and you see the closest thing we've had to authentic car chasing in compared to most movies, not just to those recent movies, but most movies ever. Like even like the bridge scene, where they went over the bridge, which obviously we didn't get to, but it shows you like he really it was a good fit to actually have a guy who specializes in stunt work to do a movie like this.
Yeah,
because he really understands the medium of having to do intense stuff for a movie that requires full-on intensity from beginning to end.
Yeah, Hal Needham was going to had already cast Gerry Reed to play the Bandit, and he was getting nowhere with studios. None of them were going to give him any money because he wasn't a director; he was a stuntman. So, I guess somebody said you're going to have to get a real star to play in the role to be able to do this, and he showed it to his roommate of 8 or 12 years, depending upon who you ask, Burt Reynolds. And Reynolds looked at it, read it, and said, "This is the worst dialogue I've ever seen, but I'll do it." and so he had to go. So Needham had to go back to Gerry Reed and say, "You're Cletus now." and he got the money, and they got, what was it? The budget was $4.2 million for a budget, and Burt, according to Hal Needham, got $1 million to play the role. And according to Hal Needham, a week before production they started shooting, the studio sent a hatchet man down and knocked $1 million off of his budget. So he had like $2.2 million in hand to make this movie. So
25, 30% of it went to Reynolds. The movie domestically at the time did $126 million, which is beyond profitable. Keywords beyond profitable.
It's huge.
Now, if you want to adjust it for inflation, guys, get ready for this. And remember, now this came out, let's just say today. Remember, this didn't have a big worldwide release. This is just a domestic release with 126 million. This movie, adjusted for inflation, would be $612 million by today's numbers. And keep in mind, it was competing against
You're a lion, dog, face, pony soldier.
Well, the only film
under
that
control.
beat it that year was Star Wars.
Was it? Because I knew it was in the top 5. I didn't actually look at number
Box
2.
office for the
That's
year.
a damn good number 2. No pun intended. But it's seriously, like, dude,
what does cost to make? What did this cost to make? It could have been too expensive.
Plus, like
at the time it was like 4 million. At the time it was like 4 million.
Yeah.
At the time it was like 4 million. So probably nowadays
Star
it's like
Wars?
what,
Star Wars
12
like
million?
16 or 18
maybe
million?
12, 15 million today would be. Even then, that's still like, wow. It just shows you how profitable movies were.
Yeah,
at
4
that
years
time.
later, you've got 5 years later, you got Blade Runner, and they shot that for 18 million.
18, man. So it's probably what?
Well, Jackie
50,
Jackie
million
Gleason,
today?
By the way,
Go ahead, Richard.
when they signed Jackie Gleason up, they offered him a choice. He could do it for salary, or he could do it for part of the profits. And Gleason chose to do it for salary, and as a result, lost millions of dollars because the amount of profit this movie made on the back end was on the order of almost $100 million was pure profit on the back end.
Yeah.
By the time they paid for the production, so.
In comparison, it would have been the same as the deal that Nicholson took for Batman, basically.
Yeah,
that's a good comparison. And in the end, though, Gleason wasn't hurt by it. He was very wealthy, and a lot of people don't know the reason he was so wealthy is because CBS.
No, he hurt us with Smokey and the Bandit 3. That's what happened.
Oh yeah, it was bad. CBS actually paid him to stop making Honeymooners. So he actually got.
But he
paid
made all that
the
money from
Foxy
selling.
Network.
I thought he made a ton of money from selling kitchen implements as the chef of the future. Corey Apple too.
Skits in the history of TV, right there.
Anyone who hasn't seen that skit, it can Corey Apple when he as Jack Gleason.
I'm the chef of the future.
He tried to do a TV commercial to sell this, gadget to get quick, and the gadget actually falls apart when they're live filming. Part of it flies off, and he goes over and picks it up and cracks an ad lib joke, and it's just one of the all-time classic comedy bits. So
he actually tears down part of a wall of the set.
Yeah.
When he falls back, and that wasn't supposed to happen.
We just had a great part where at some of the local cops, one of the local cops try to go on the run after him, and he does that sharp turn, the point where he gets out of it, but the cop car doesn't, and it flies.
Don't remember that turn.
And you see that guy jump right into to avoid that car, dude. So even though the movie's not a comedy, I would consider like an adventure movie with a dash of humor. That is a very funny,
definitely a road movie.
Oh,
yeah. This is a situational comedy. There are very few, except for Jackie Gleason's ad libs. There are very few lines that are meant just on their face to be funny. Mm-hmm. But some of the responses, like, I'm going to go to, what are you going to do when we get done with this? I'm going to go to bed. Sounds like a good idea for a week. And I'm going to sleep.
Oh, God, yeah.
And she looks at him and goes, want to bet?
Well, what are we going to do when we get home?
Go to bed for a week.
Good idea.
And sleep.
Want to bet?
By the way, she looks like she's never smoked in her life.
If she had, she was doing a good imitation of a new smoker.
Yeah.
Let's stop the slideshow here just so you can see we'll take the overlay off. But anyone know what's above that radio there? I wonder if that's an
It's a scanner, isn't it?
It's a scan. Yeah, the 1, 2, 3, 4. I wonder if that's what the heck is that? Is that police scanner? I mean, this is the CB below, volume squelch, and then that's you got to change the that's changing the channel.
I think those are station preset buttons.
Maybe on the going to the CB radio.
Yeah, well, no. The 1, 2, 3, 4 could just be on an old radio. You picked the 4 stations you wanted to be able to reach easily.
Yeah,
you just press a button and it would slide there.
See, this is going. This mic jack here. It's got to be something with the CB.
Got to be then, yeah.
But if anyone knows, we always got a good chat out there. But I just paused it there for a second. It's like, look at that. That was like high tech back then. That was like,
I can imagine. I would bragged up to the moon and back about having something like this back in the day. Actually, shit, I still would now, but
got the best CB radio, and they were like $200 back then for the good ones. It was,
they were not cheap.
L200 then.
Then, at least,
yeah. That's like $1,500 now.
Catalog,
Wow.
I see Hojo's here. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, what's up, Hojo? Shout out Hojo,
buddy of mine.
Right, he's got. I think he'll be getting the Mythicals #2 printed real soon. Looking forward to it, buddy. Can't wait. Rob Altus had Rob Altus had a great kind here. So I read Gleason only did the movie to write his own lines. He wrote a specific thing for him and Burt Reynolds to get their first breaking the ice interaction so he can adjust for the B for T Justice versus Bandit interaction. He wrote a specific thing to practice for that part. I just want to highlight so I could give you a little fun fact there. I thought, damn, that's cool. That once again, that level of commitment from not even the main character is just like, no, if I'm going to be in this thing, I got to make sure I still give him my 100. And Abigor, who's been a member for half a year, shout out to you, sir. 130 Tuesdays of toxicity, 1 million more left to go. Nick Weiser, the Ghoul, broadcasting from the wasteland. And no, I like that Toxic Holocaust song, MK Ultra, man. That's where I broadcast from. So thanks for being here, Abigor. Shout out. All right.
Yep.
Now let's continue the adrenaline speed chase of this freaking
Speaking of that,
movie.
Nick.
Go ahead, Gerry.
I was just going to say, he did almost all of his own stunts, and he even had Sally Field in the car for some of the scenes.
Yes.
Where he would do some of the stunts. And you can actually see the two of them doing a turn and spin together, and it's really impressive. And he demanded that he be able to do them. Like one of the main ones, he didn't do the jump.
Oh, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I don't blame him. When you lose your star of the movie, that's like one of those things where you gotta compromise somewhere, unless you're somehow because when you have your main star and you lose them, that's where the whole movie derails. Especially,
and that's why often they'll save the biggest, worst, scariest stunts to the end of the shoot.
Yes,
We've done it many a time.
He also that Harrison Ford was able to finish the last Indiana Jones movie, although I don't wish him
he got
well.
Injured
remember,
on the
was
first
injured
week of the last movie. He got injured on the first week. I think I remember for Indy 5, he got injured on the first week of it.
He got injured getting out of bed.
Midnight Edge. I think I remember watching that Midnight Edge in the morning episode about it. Like,
and I sympathize.
The first week,
and they shut the door of the Millennium Falcon on him and injured him in that piece of crap Star Wars film.
Oh man!
Yeah. So this is actually Sally Field's stunt double driving.
Yeah,
she was every bit as good a stunt driver as any of the guys on the movie. She was also the one who was driving the car when they jump into the football field and discovered that the field had been watered.
You can actually see the stunt woman in that one because once they went to HD with film, you can actually see every detail.
Right.
Yeah.
But they were very clever at some of the camera work. Did you guys notice that, Red? When sometimes when they want to hide the stunt actor, they drop the camera right as the car approaches to just look at the wheels and then back up.
Yep. Yeah, somebody once asked Hal Needham, how many stunts did Burt Reynolds want to do? And Hal said, well, Burt used to be a stunt man, so there were no stunts that Burt didn't want to do. I made the decision as to which stunts Burt was going to do.
Now, a little bit. Here's some trivia about that dude, just to show you what he was. He worked on a show, I think it was called Showboat TV series with Darren McGavin, Night Stalker. And Darren McGavin apparently spoke to one of the female background actresses that did dancing in a rude way. I don't know. They never explained what was said, but it led to a pushing contest between Reynolds and Darren McGavin, and Burt Reynolds picked him up over his head and threw him off the boat. And that is when he got fired from the show.
And by the way, that stunt was a mistake.
That one that just happened?
The one that just happened when Justice's police car is supposed to pull in front of the truck. The stunt driver pulled in too early, clipped the front of the truck with the rear fender, swerved out of the way, and basically snap spun back in front of the truck. And he went up to Hal Needham after the shot was over, and he says, "Do you realize how large a Kenworth's grill is when it's right here?"
Must have been shit
It's called a pit maneuver. He did an accidental pit maneuver.
He did an accidental pit maneuver, and he wound up with a.
I didn't know that was an
grill.
accident. So
it was an accident.
That's a scary stunt watching it.
Yeah,
because
I can tell you how
being pushed.
I can tell you how large the front wheel of an 18-wheeler is when it's grinding a hole in your driver's door.
No, thank you.
Yeah, no. That was a nightmare. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I can't imagine being in front of an 18-wheeler, staring out the passenger window and seeing nothing but bumper and grill.
Oh man. Oh, I'm glad I came back right at time.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
And I got a big welcome waiting for you when I get you back home. You some bitch. Don't you cuss on this here radio.
The some bitch.
He really pulled off redneck. He really did. A New Yorker pulled off redneck really well.
Yes, he did.
The fact that it's amazing how the way they have a clever touch of covering up the vulgarity. I feel like it makes the vulgarity that much more effective because it's one of those things. If you're like a later teen to adult, you know exactly what they say, whether it's the FO,
hello,
or the
yep.
And then there's other extra added toxicity for.
Yeah, when he told that one deputy to fuck off, right when he says fuck off, you hear the truck horn.
Well, yeah,
yes.
And then there's that one too. Yeah, dude.
Yep.
I was like, wow.
No, I guess I clipped this one a few too many extra times. I don't know what happened.
No, you don't say, Mark. Totally not. No,
must have been an accident.
Well, no, yeah, I'm sure.
That's just pointing out that both of them like half of Bert's face.
You're making a real ass of this, Mark.
My keyboard broke.
Oh. Well, that's another thing. Earlier, there were some lines he was sputtering out too. He's just like, "Well, cowboys love fat cats." She's like, "Not fat," and she's like, "We really want to talk about legs?" He's like, "Well, one of us does." And he's like, "Smart."
I like that, but there's a great still right
That's
there.
the one I should have used.
Look at Bert's on
His face.
Full moon.
The dark side of the moon.
Yeah.
By the way, Tetrich of Apathy has a good
Tetrarch.
comment about. Is that what it is?
Tetrarch.
Yep.
Tetrarch. Says something about the black sheriff, and the fact is Buford T. Pusser is not pleased with that. He says you didn't sound so tall on the radio, and then turns around and goes,
Justice
this country
is walking tall.
It was absolutely
Buford T.
racist
Justice
moment.
and Buford T. Pusser. Yeah, see, Tom picked out that difference. I know it's that.
Yep.
But that needs to still be a Toxic Tuesday is the original
We know
one.
who you meant.
The remake doesn't count. No, it does not.
No.
I remember wanting to. I was actually looking forward to that remake. I was actually looking forward to that at the time.
Oh, you mean when The Rock did it?
Yeah, with was it? God.
Oh, there's two asses now.
Johnny Knoxville. He did Johnny Knoxville. I remember.
He was one of the deputies. Yeah.
Yeah, and they changed the
Arnie,
name because they
not The
said
Rock.
the
Changed
name of
everything, and I hated it.
Buford
Was it Arnie or The Rock?
It was The Rock. It was The Rock and Johnny
Johnson.
Knoxville and they changed his name of Buford Puster because they said that doesn't sound like a name people could take seriously nowadays. I was like, oh, stop with that crap.
Didn't Arnie do
Yes, he did one too, which was actually pretty good film.
It was a very similar movie. Yeah,
it was the sheriff of a small town and his deputies taking on high-level criminals.
Yeah,
and the mad
what's the
shot.
name of that? You have to look that up.
Oh, the
It's quite a good movie.
Oh, I must say, Bandit. You know what Bandit had that we don't see a lot of in the world nowadays? He had loyalty, because the fact that he was able to just get a hold of so many people, like, I got you, dude. Just to help him
it
get
was the
cores.
Last Stand. Sorry, Nick. It was The Last Stand that Arnie did. That had Johnny Knoxville in it as well, which confuses me because of the Rock one.
So they both did movies with Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah,
Okay,
I get confused. Yeah.
Or am I wrong? Was Johnny Knoxville not in the Walking Tall remake? Tell me if
but
I'm
it was
wrong.
in The Last
chat.
Stand. The Last Stand was good.
Okay, then who co-starred opposite? God, I'm trying to be fair here without. Who was with Dwayne Johnson and walk? No, fuck it. I'm just gonna look
I
it
can't
up.
remember. Yeah,
It was Johnny Knoxville. I was waiting for
Oh,
somebody
so it
else.
was.
he's in both. So he's in both.
He's in
The Last
both.
Stand
Okay,
and-
well, I wasn't wrong.
That's what she said in the first place. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't wrong. I remember actually the original. Okay,
He did both.
here I'm like questioning my sanity. I'm like, man, no. Sean William Scott was The Rundown. That I do remember specifically because I actually saw.
That's a great film. We should have gotten a sequel to.
And that was actually good. I will be fair here and say not only was that good, like Backdoor Gerry said, it should have had a sequel.
Well,
And
he's promising to still. They're trying to still get it today.
yeah, it's not gonna happen. It should. It would actually be that, because I remember people actually liked it, but they had a low box office opening weekend. And then people came out saying they liked it. I'm like, yeah, you should have, more of you should have showed up for, because the people who saw it liked it.
It's damn good. But Peter Berg did recently say that he's still talking to the actors about doing that planned sequel.
Well, hurry,
just know what's going to happen
up, because it needs to happen now, or forever hold your damn peace.
Yeah, The Rock needs a win at this point.
Yeah, not just in the ring. Wish I
Here's
did
the
see
jump,
him
guys.
Oh
Here's the
yeah.
jump. Now this was a Pontiac exterior, but for the jump they used a Chevy engine.
Really?
Yeah, and the vehicle was totally destroyed when it landed.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
sure.
totaled.
I mean,
They
in
should have
real
used
life,
the General Lee. The General Lee would have gotten destroyed.
Yeah, they went through about 70 of those damn things.
Yeah.
If James Bond was driving, it wouldn't have got totaled.
James
Bond
Bond would have done it.
because
He would have
Bond
landed it.
defies logic, man.
Because
Come
you know
on.
nobody does it better than James Bond.
Yeah, we're talking about James Bond. Seriously, of course.
Look at that jump, though. Holy crap. That's
It's
not
so
CGI.
up
That's
in the
real.
air right now.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. That thing is coming down like a pancake. But John Schneider is in this from Dukes of Hazzard.
Wow.
He has a bit part in it.
This gets an Owen Wilson. Wow.
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 Still walking too. Wow. Wow.
Just as good as the jump between the bridge. Thank you, Rob Altus. You beat me to it. No CGI at all.
Yep.
And then what happens after? And you get the first car that lands, and then you get the car that tilts until it gets the push at the end. And
Right.
Junior's just like, look, we didn't
Here's the racist moment.
Yeah,
coming up.
it's coming. I just want to know how much I want to know for the stunt driver that drove the car on the jump over this bridge. How much shorter was he after the car landed?
Oh
Right? They lost a couple inches.
I love Carrie here, because this is probably the most excited she is at this scene.
I want to
'Cause she
jump
went
something
from-
else.
She
I
went,
want to jump something.
yeah, the fact
Jump
that
me.
and they-
Jump
they'll
Perfect
jump-
moment. Yeah. Don't jump me right there. That's the line.
Oh,
Here it is. Here it is.
man.
Here it is. Here it is.
Oh,
Buford T.
dude.
Justice.
Oh, yeah. There's another
boy.
toxic line. Hey,
Well,
boy.
where's the sheriff? I am Sheriff
Oh.
Branford. didn't sound so tall or whatever.
Expect
For
that
some
sheriff to
reason
be
or
so bald.
another.
Didn't expect that guy to be so bald.
You
I didn't
sounded a
either.
little taller on radio.
But you know what's funny though? Even though he
And here comes the racist part right here. The hell is this world coming to?
Oh, well, no. The racist part was the second word he said to the man.
Boy, right?
Yeah, try that today.
Yeah, he says it to everybody. He says it to everybody.
Growing up in the South, nobody liked getting called a boy. And
No, I
finally got called that.
I was in my 30s when I finally told one of my uncles, I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't call me boy anymore. And he said, all right. And he never did.
Wow.
But he did until I asked him not to.
Wow. I see. And here I did not know about that whole stigma of boy until my early 20s. I concede that. Probably it doesn't help that I lived in Chicago and not right outside Chicago, so I probably never really gasped all that. But yeah, didn't know.
Well, sometimes if you don't grow up knowing that stuff because you're not brought up around it, you don't even realize that certain things can have a bad bad form or bad terminology because your family or friends you just don't use them, right? And it can go the other way too. A lot of that stuff is taught too. So
yep.
Yeah, no, it do happen. It do be like that. That's for sure. Oh, I remember seeing this. I was like, yeah, this isn't going to be the last one. Who are you trying the kid? There's no way he's going to drop her off here. You can tell, look at the glare.
Yeah.
He's totally it. He's like, oh, come on, I'm really part of this. And then, but however, though, even though they temporarily parted, it made for the great first in-person interaction between the Bandit and Buford T. Justice. What the fact that you see the food being served and Buford goes off ranting and spouting what's going on, but as he's talking, he's not saying it. He's saying it as they used to say in the 90s. He says it and sprays it. And he's constantly making it obvious, like, dude, you're spitting while you're talking, because he's kind of literally brushing himself off as he's going off babbling about what he's dealing with out there. Lily doesn't know that what he's doing with is right in front of him. But you can tell he's doing that whole like I was like, oh, dude.
He's upstaging. He is upstaging Jackie Gleason in Jackie Gleason's own scene. With flicking the spit off of his face. It is amazing. And I could not find any explanation as to why after this scene, Burt Reynolds went to the director, Hal Needham, and said, I am not doing any more scenes with Jackie Gleason. And that was that for the right. They had to rewrite. They had to rearrange scenes to take out the subsequent scenes they were supposed to be in together.
No explanation of that?
Not that I've ever heard.
Really?
Never been able to figure out why Burt Reynolds put the kibosh on any more interactions with Jackie Gleason's character, Sheriff Justice.
Because he spit the soda on him?
I don't know. I mean, it might have just been that he felt, intimidated, and that
upstage
business he was doing was his way of staying in the scene when Jackie wrote all the lines for himself, just about. But no, I don't think he was happy with it, and I've not been able to find out why.
Maybe he just felt it was better for the movie that they didn't ever appear again.
It might be.
Yeah.
The very final conversation over the CB when they're only about 20 feet apart.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm waiting for my direct donor link to pop up properly. I don't know why it's being bipolar. However, I will acknowledge my Action Com for $2 super chat. How you doing, Action Com? Thanks for being here. Started with Bandit, ended with Elwood Blues. Facts. That's true. Yes, nice. It did. Yeah. Yes, it did. Thank you for the $2, sir. And Vulcan Lives, I will get to your direct donation as soon as Stream Elements allows me to, open up. I don't know why Stream Elements is being bipolar, even though you sent me the money. I mean, if you want to highlight how much you sent, what your comment was, you're welcome to do that. But for some reason, Stream Elements is not highlighting.
Not making it.
I don't get it. I'm refreshing my websites, and everything else is fine right now. Everything is fine. Literally, everything is fine. So I apologize, sir, but I have it saved for when we do get to it. But anyways,
well, here, let's play the clip for that. So here,
Yes.
let's play a Smokey clip.
I saw that, you son bitch! You did that on purpose!
Some bitch.
Some bitch.
It's
I
a contraction
laugh
of everything to some.
my ass off at the fact that Asian guy just rams right into that door, and he's just so proud of it. And that was after other like damage had been done, because it started with the side swipe, and then after that became the rooftop, and then after that it became the driver side front door. After that, it's like, holy crap, this car is just taking a beating and a half. And he's like, hey, no, that's evidence. I was like, really? Put the evidence in the back. I was like, he said, put the evidence in the back. Yeah, that's really gonna save you, Buford T. Justice.
I think I got every son of a bitch in the movie clipped right now. So
yeah,
we got more to go.
One of the stories I remember hearing was that Jackie Gleason based his character on Burt Reynolds' father, who was a cop and a sheriff down south. And according to Burt, his father never said son of a bitch. He always shortened it to some bitch. And Gleason was confused by that. He's like, really? He didn't say son of a bitch? And he said, no, you don't call somebody a son bitch. So Jackie Gleason decided to use that. And because Jackie Gleason said it in this movie, it became ubiquitous down south. Everybody down south since the 1970s, since 1977, has said some bitch. It's become common.
One of the clips in the documentary, they said this was like, or in the making of, they said this is like a documentary down south, right? I mean,
it is.
They're cracking a joke.
Yeah. It's there are people down south who consider it to basically be a documentary, because it's another, as some NASCAR driver said, down here everybody knows somebody, a relative, a family member, a friend, a neighbor, that reminds them of one of the characters in this movie. So this just hit home for so many people down south, but because it wasn't just Southern humor. This movie was popular across the country. After they got it down south, it became big. Word of mouth got out. It did work, and that's part of the reason. I mean, this could not have been $100 box office movie if it had only been shown in southern states.
Oh, of course. You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, Richard, because it brings it to a point that I was starting to think of as you were going on about that. In 1977, some of our biggest movies, and then not even just 77, but if you bring in 78, 79, we had A Boy from Krypton, we had a space opera, we had a movie of a southern race, and then A Deadly Shark at Sea. These are all different movies in different geographical locations, and yet they all succeeded. Once again, it's genuine.
No sequels either, right?
Well, Jaws obviously had sequels. Star Wars had sequels.
No, I mean, but at the time, though, yeah, they're all original ideas.
You're all original ideas, yes. So no, I'm glad you highlighted in that way, Mark. Yeah, these are all brand new ideas. Well, it's interesting to say that these are all very radically different stories, and they all succeeded, and they all obviously translated for an audience to respond very enthusiastically about. It shows you, like, yeah, sure, people could see things from different lands, demographics, and still have the same amount of enjoyment about movies. Like, you look at all those movies I just listed, they're not the same movie. Not a one of them. Not a one of them. And yet people embrace the hell out of them.
you had sequels and spin-offs and things, but it was like the opposite of what we got now, right? Like instead of everything being a sequel, remake, reboot, what have you, it was like that was the exception to the rule. In fact, I mean, this movie's getting remade, and it's going to have a bit of a twist. I don't know if they already released the song. This just came out. You guys didn't know about this?
No.
Oh my God!
Let's see if you guys can guess who's going to be starring.
Is it going to be like Thelma and Louise?
This is Tom.
Smoky, 'cause I'm the bandit. He's down the town. Get down.
Will Smith, Jazzy Jeff, 2024, Smoking Smokey.
Isn't that just you doing that, Tom?
Yes, of course I would do that.
Because you had me worried for about 1 second.
Sounds like it's possible, though, don't it?
Yeah, it does. Two black lesbians, as action comes, as two black lesbians.
Oh, and I paused it here.
No, it's okay, man.
A couple of kids got hurt on. I mean, sounds like we're all watching that making of, but you know, they didn't know how fast it would, you know, how long
like
it would
Will
take.
Smith.
It did, yeah. Because the field was they'd I guess watered the field down. A lot of times they'll do that when they're filming, so it looks better. You know, it's glistening. You know, whenever you see a paved street in the city, it's always wet, right? If you notice.
No. This wasn't done by the filmmakers. The groundskeeper.
Oh, the groundskeeper did.
Unbeknownst to the crew, watered it the night before. They filmed in the morning. The grass hadn't dried. They were assuming the car would come to a stop in the grass, and then Needham would yell "cut," and it would be.
Then they would
have their shot, and the thing just skidded right across the field.
Yeah, so this is unplanned here, and that cheerleader, that girl could have gotten killed, and they said 2 kids went to the hospital. You know, because the stuntman, I guess, the stunt lady, I guess, you know, they were supposed to stop, but then they just kept driving, and they went through the damn dugout there, which wasn't planned, I guess. So then they incorporated it into the film, you know, with them driving off there. It's a great scene, but you'd never realize how, you know. Then Burt Reynolds said in the interview, said, "Thank God there were no dads there, because they would have kicked our asses." When the mom said, "Were you supposed to get that close?" And they're like, "Well, usually we try to get close for realism." Like,
yeah. Reynolds had the right attitude towards it. It's a good thing none of the dads were there.
Oh man!
Come on, by bandit.
All right, you talk me into it. Nah, I got that some bitch, and I got him with his fly open.
They keeping the hat on the head while he's driving because Junior's own hat flew off, so he has to keep his dad's hat on.
Yeah.
But the funniest one is when they get out just before the truck takes off his door, and they're walking up, and he puts his hand on Gleason's hat.
Yeah.
Gleason stops and just looks at him until he takes his hand away. And I think that's one of the funniest bits. They just had those little jokes here and there.
By the way, for anyone in the chat, if you do send any direct donations, I went to PayPal to access the amount, but the website is not letting me know what you said as far as a comment, presuming that you had a comment to add to your direct donation. But we finally go here. Vulcan lives with a direct donation. Woo! And he says for $10, says James Bond ain't got nothing on Bandit. Woo! He's going for a big, bold comment there. But you know what? I can see why he says that. Thank you for the $10, sir. I appreciate that. You know what? Bandit, he definitely, the fact that he's doing what he does with a car is a testament to how badass he is versus Bond with the gadgets and the car. So I think you know, he definitely has some legs to stand out. I won't say all of them, but he's definitely got some legs to stand out with Bond. So we'll go that. We'll go there. Okay. But thank you, Vulcan. Appreciate that, sir. As we talk about the side of Burt Reynolds' face, that he's flattered by the side of his own face. And his great laugh that he does frequently throughout his movies. Such a distinct laugh. And yes, Andy, I did highlight this before you showed up here. We were talking about how this was like that compared to the earlier movies, but without the CG. This was like as close to a natural movie as it gets. So, and yes, folks, there were actual so in case you haven't pieced it together, there's not only cool, funny black men and Asian men who level car doors in the South. So this whole weird thing about how like the South is like for whites only is like, did you see the cool black guy who was super excited to see a Trans Am? Did you see that Asian guy who mollywopped the shit out of Jackie Gleason's door and took pride in it, as he should? Really, you're telling me that, yeah, they're not in the South. They're in the South, and they love it just as much. So please, don't give me that crap. Just don't. I love this. The fact that he gets all like riled up about, I'm gonna get you, and then all of a sudden, as soon as he gets them, it turns into once again another great funny moment because he don't realize his car is on a jack stand lift. Yeah. Oh, you don't FO mean anything to you, dude. What a lie. Oh man, yeah. Everything up the seat is you're right there. There's that jack.
It goes right in.
Yep, that's a floor jack. He's right up on top of a rolling floor jack.
That is why you need a jack stand.
Yes.
Well, and
that's right.
As someone who's had a car fall on his own leg.
Oh, geez.
Oh, God. Really?
Yeah. Oh, it's happened.
Oh, boy.
I was putting in new brake pads and what was it? Brake pads and rotors for my younger brother's car.
Fell off the stand.
The car was it was on the car was parked on an angle because it was on my parents' driveway where it was like a slightly slanted angle. And I remember when it happened. And it hurt like a son of a bitch. Luckily, he got out. He got outside just in time. Well, I'm here, and he was able to pick up, from above the what's that?
Wheel well. The arm, the
pinch well, wheel well. Yeah, it was a wheel well because that's where the struts and all that are. And he was able to pick that up, and I got my leg out, and that's where I took.
So the jack collapsed, or it fell off the jack, or
it fell off the jack, is what happened on that slanted angle. I remember, and so what we took was, I was like, well, since you don't have a stand, are you okay with me using your tire for leverage? I use this full size tire that I took off to do the brakes, and he said, yeah, that's fine. Just use that if that's what needs to be done. So I used his tire. I'm like, it's going to scratch your rims because he had the aluminum rims. He's like, I don't care. Just get it done. And then he's like, okay. And I'll never know to this day if it scratched up the rim, but he was willing to do that just so the job could get done. And
did it leave any permanent damage?
Job got done peacefully after that. And I was able to throw the wheel back on and torque the nuts on that car, and everything was smooth sailing after that. And yes, I torqued those nuts.
I got another clip coming up, and this is safe. It's a very toxic clip, but I clipped the end very carefully. But if you remember what line was in it,
she insulted my authority, and that's nothing but pure and simple old-fashioned communism. Happens every time one of those dancers start poontanging around with those show folk.
The next bit, but yeah.
No, go for it. We have
No, you can't. You can't have that on the show. You can't say that word.
Okay.
The F word, and it's not the fornicating word. Yeah. It was a word that was commonly bandied about in the 70s and didn't really mean what it was meant, between guys usually.
Oh my God, the cock.
Thank you, Mr. Bond.
Are you talking about a pile of sticks?
Yeah, a pile of sticks. Yep.
Oh, I was an expert. I remember when I would torque the nuts on the wheels, I would ask other guys, like, hey, could you come over here?
That's what you're putting on the wheels.
Double checked to make sure my nuts are torqued, and they would make sure that my nuts were torqued. They'd use a torque wrench. They color coded it. They make sure they use the right socket to stick it in, and then they torqued. And I was just like, okay, they torqued my nuts really good.
Did you use grease first?
Yeah, it was called anti-seize. Was the grease?
I still use anti-seize all the time.
It was the equivalent of a lubricant to make sure that when your nuts come off, they come off gently and nicely.
You have to lower your torque wrench settings because of that, because it lowers the friction, so you could actually.
Well, it depends on the car. Like if it's like Honda, you gotta have it around 80, and then like American, like Ford, it's like 100.
No, but once you use that, the grease on there,
yes,
you have to adjust your torque settings because you could crash. If anyone's listening, crash. Yeah, I did. And then one time I was working on my '67 Mustang. I was changing the transmission oil pan, and I thought it said 12 foot-pounds, but it was 12 inch-pounds. So I sheared off one of the bolts, but it doesn't leak to this day. I never bothered to pulling the bolt out and change it. It was like, some bitch, like hear that ding.
Okay.
And my friend was helping me. He's like, 12 inch-pounds, not 12 foot-pounds.
I use anti-seize. I can see why he said never use on lug bolts. I get it. Are you talking like the studs, or are you just talking like the actual bolts? Because for me, I always put it on the stud, because especially with the German cars had those lug studs where when you took the nut out, they had the studs attached to the nut. This is getting really gay. The studs are attached to the nut, and you had to you had to figure out where the hole was for all 5 of the nuts to put them in.
You had trouble finding all those holes at once.
Yes, and it was always
tough to get into 2 holes at the same time.
Too much for me, guys. Come on, I'm about to bust it here.
Think of your secretary.
This dirty talk is
dude. That was one of the things I hated about those German cars, because they had the lug studs. Where I'm like, oh, I gotta figure out where to put it in the holes. So you had to like line up your wheelright so you could put in the hole correctly. And I was just like, oh, I hated the German cars. Don't get me wrong, the German cars are great, but as far as working on them, I think that was probably the time I went nuts with the most amount of vulgarities is working on German cars, because they put their lug nuts in stupid places. They put their batteries in stupid places. They just do everything stupid because we gotta be different. Fucking posers.
Dare to be different.
Dare to be different. Hey, I'm cool with that. Be different, but man, that shit was retarded. And yes, YouTube, I'm already demonetized, so I'm gonna say retarded. Louder.
Nick, Nick, you'll love this one.
Nuts way too many times.
You'll love this one, Nick. The Italians are even crazier engineers than the Germans are. I once made $10 by betting a guy he couldn't find the battery in my Alfa Romeo in 30 seconds.
That was in the trunk. That's why.
That's because he never looked in the trunk.
Yeah, it's in the trunk. Yeah.
Oh, I see all the stud luber. You guys are hilarious.
Because after all that talk, we've got to play this for Gary.
I came in through the back door. In the ass?
Ridiculous.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
How do you like that knife shoved up your ass?
In the ass?
I wouldn't like that at all.
No, sure. Not at all.
Oh,
we're like a big boy.
And this is where the romance sets in, boys. The romance. Yeah, he takes off his hat.
Cover your eyes, Handy Randy.
And not only, back in the day, there was actual thing called male consent because he had to take off. He wanted to take off his hat. Little did we know, though, Cletus was going to get in a freaking bar fight, all because one of the guys was a pansy. Yeah, I said pansy. Fuck off, YouTube. Fucking pansy because you're dead. It's like, shut up, dude. Just shut up, okay? Shit happens. Dogs are dogs, bastard. I just went off on a swearing tangent. Yeah,
well, I'm so offended at you. What you just said.
How blue is your nuts? Well, see, when there's studs around, you never have to worry about having blue balls. You make of that phrase what you will. When there's studs around, there's no such thing as blue balls. Anyways, yeah, fight.
I love this scene because Cletus loses the battle, but he wins the war.
Oh, yeah.
When he gets out to his truck.
Yes. Shades of every which way but loose. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
You can see the pain on his face, and all of a sudden he gets up and he looks at his truck and he looks what's in front of it, and he gets a big grin on his face. And
I know what I'm gonna do.
What's he gonna do?
You know what? That's actually a really smart plan. Because you know what? He could have easily tried to get in there, maybe get his ass kicked again, try to seek out retribution. But instead, he's just like, you know what? No, I'm not even going to go back in. I'm going to get back in my truck because they're going to be so busy focusing on getting drunk that this is a perfect opportunity to capitalize on the drunkenness by shattering their freaking transportation. That is a smart way of writing for scenes. And also, can we give a shout out to the 76 original logo of that gas station? I'm starting to see some of those around again, which is cool to see.
Yep.
Oh, and you said 76, and you just reminded me at the beginning, the dad, the big guy, when he's got a cup in his hand, that was the 1976 Celebration Cup.
What?
This was shot in 76. Yeah.
Bicentennial. Yeah.
Hey, look,
we got an
old school Pizza Hut. Go back.
Let's go back. Go back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Look to first
Look at
left,
that.
OG KFC.
KFC.
I missed that.
But we used to call it Pizza Slut, though. We never called it Pizza Hut.
Pizza Slut.
You want to go to Pizza Slut tonight? Yeah.
Hey, Mark, I just sent you something for the show video.
Sounds good. And I got another
Schnauzer's tit.
another clip here. Yeah.
Nobody makes Sheriff Buford T. Justice look like a possum's back.
All right.
Possum Specker. Yeah.
You know what? For tonight, a rare night, we're gonna share a clip and we're gonna just fucking play it in its entirety. It's only like 3 minutes. And if I get hit with it, you know what? I'll just remove it because I'm feeling a little extra generous tonight, and I want to play this clip because it more or less pertains to our show here. Okay. And it involves a certain Buford T. Justice. So, okay. I'm putting it in right now. All right, we guys see it?
Oh, the birthday special.
Yeah, so let's look at it. It's only 2 minutes. We're just going to play it all. If I get hit with it, whatever.
You want that on or off, or
Huh?
do you want the overlay on it, or doesn't matter?
You know, I'll just remove it. I'm saying this is one of those rare
Yeah,
times
yeah,
where I'm
okay,
just
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
let it play so we can
Roll
just
with it,
enjoy
okay.
the moment rather than pause every 20 seconds. I obviously I
Yeah.
appreciate people are accommodating to the chat, but you know what? For tonight, I want to be a little extra generous towards our chat.
Bernadette Peters. No.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're out there. You some. You embarrassed me. You made a fool out of me and out of my son Junior, that twit.
I just want to say really quickly, I don't think it was an issue with Burt Reynolds and Jackie Gleason having a problem with each other. The fact that this scene took place after the movie came out, I think it was just to maintain the tension of barely seeing each other.
I think that's right, Nick. Yeah.
Now that we're seeing this clip in retrospect, it totally has it. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense for this to be taking place. But let's go with the rest of the clip. I just want to throw that because I felt like it was necessary considering where we were at the conversation earlier.
Been running away, and I've been following you. I'm gonna catch you, and when I catch you, I'm gonna put you behind bars for the rest of your life. And then when you die, I'm gonna put you in a box, and I'm gonna put you behind bars for the rest of your natural death.
Your natural death.
Now, when I leave here, I'm gonna get in my car, and I'll be in hot pursuit. You some.
That's
Rest in peace, Jackie Gleason.
Yeah.
Thank you for
The
that.
greatest.
Absolutely worth going through with the clip for that rare moment to highlight that.
That's an award show. You should be okay for that.
That was Once again, I don't care. Tonight that was a rare, I just wanted to let it happen for the sake of the show. I did it for the chat. So remember that shit. I did it for you guys, all 60 of you here. Thank you, by the way, for being here, by the way. Seriously, thank you guys for being here. I did it for you guys for this rare night. So I just, once again, I compromised for the sake and integrity of the show. So, all right. Anyways, let's go. Oh, don't you care? Oh, dude, yeah. The fact that he corrects this guy about using language and then he freaking gets up, it's all pointy at him, and then a loud vehicle drives by, and then he does the fuck off comment.
Yep.
Oh,
I have that.
dude.
I have that clip. If you want.
Telling you for the last time. I happen to have my young son in the car, and I don't want to hear that kind of language.
Hey, chat. It's my pleasure. I see you guys saying thank you. Thumbs up. Here's, guys, for you guys. Seriously, that's how much I love you guys. That's how much we did Airplane, Alabama. We haven't done 2, though, yet. So we'll get there, buddy. We'll get there.
Mark, did you see the clip I sent you?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I'm getting that. Yep.
Okay.
Uh-oh. You figure out where to put it?
Your back door is covered.
Oh.
It's a backdoor clip from the movie.
Oh, great. Now the Burt Reynolds laugh is translating onto me.
I love his laugh.
Oh, dude. It's very distinct. I gotta say that. It's very distinct. I hope you'll accept my apologies. Humble.
No, F off.
Yeah. You should have never apologized. You should straight up never apologize. Just saying. I got you, son. Come on back. Oh, man. Yeah. See, this movie was just from the constant delivery of Bandit to even the way the cop was acting, Buford Justice towards his son Junior, and just to the culture around this time, this movie had toxicity in far more ways than one. Far more ways than one. Even freaking Carrie here had Bandit on the edge of suspense when she was driving his car for a brief moment. You could see him kind of being on the, I guess you could say, the receiving end of things, and in freak out mode about it, like, oh shit. So this is what it's like when people freak out over me driving fast. She had her moment of toxicity. I gotta give her credit. Does that mean Sally Fields was one of the first toxic females? I don't know. You decide. The chat can decide that. You make up your minds. I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm just giving you guys, as movies used to do, I'm just giving you guys something to think about. That's all. That's all. and then the hooker scene happens. Oh boy. I'll tell you what, I did not expect this to happen. I did not. This was
That's what she said.
Oh, sorry. I feel like
I've always wanted an RV like that, not to own, just to visit.
I feel like I've heard from less of you in this show. I feel like you should, bring the equity to this balance.
Who, me? I've got a really bad throat infection right now, so I'm
we'll
having to keep like this.
Okay.
I have to keep coughing.
Coughing.
Yeah, it's stuff.
I don't know what to tell you what that looked like you were doing there.
I saw that too.
Don't get Gary too excited.
I'm struggling a little bit, I have to say, but I'm here.
Oh, I'm sure you're here.
Good on you, mate.
Oh man.
That's what they call a Q-fister.
Yeah. Guys, do not make me laugh like Burt Reynolds. This shit's rubbing off on me, but
Bottoms up.
Oh.
There's no sense in going off half-cocked.
Oh my God, the cock.
Oh, I gotta play another one, so I gotta delete some as I play them because we're out of rooms. There's another one.
By Bandit.
All right, you talk me into it.
Nah, I got that some bitch, and I got him with his fly open.
Oh, we got that one.
Why doesn't he just take his hat off?
And Rob Alton. Yes, Stream Elements is finally function. Rob Altis for 10 direct donation dollars says, I couldn't miss the last of my friends on one of my favorite films. Greetings from the other side of the world, Taiwan. Thank you, Rob Altis, for the $10, sir. Thank you for that comment, and greetings to you. You're probably on a completely different time zone. Whatever your time zone is, dude, thank you for tuning in, because I can imagine that's not as easy to accommodate to time zones. But it's good to know we have people listening in Taiwan. So hopefully you're well, Rob. That's fucking amazing, sir. Thanks for the 10. I'm really happy and grateful. We're just guys who exchange a love for movies, and we have a little bit of a homoerotic time. And
occasionally we exchange bodily fluids. Tom.
Oh God, no.
Tom popped up. What?
This 11. It's 11:12, dude. No way. So you're in the future, dude. That's crazy. You're 11 hours ahead of us. That's crazy. Well, thank you, sir. I'm glad we could be your morning show, as this is our evening show, and I'm pretty
good morning. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I guess in that regard, good morning, Rob Altis. Thank you.
For you guys to know, that is a famous actor. He's been around since the 1920s doing westerns.
Okay.
A lot of John Ford films. And he just has that one cameo in this film, uncredited.
Speaking of things, spin-offs, uncredits, whatever, not related, but just wanted to relate it because, whoa, 513, dude. PM is that AM Snail aside? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Snail's on the other side of the world too.
I was okay. I know I was having fun with the reach around comment, but now that reach around is literal. Okay. Wow. That's
they're 7 hours ahead of us in Denmark.
Thank you, Snail. That is insane. Also, I have my girlfriend has a few friends live in Denmark, and all I could say is Denmark people are really awesome, and they love American stuff, which is great too. So yeah, dude, this reach around is huge. But the fact that
you know they really Danish women love anal. It's awesome. they call it going Dutch.
He thinks I'm still a virgin.
The Dutch is Holland.
Huge. That's the joke. That they're insulting the Dutch.
What about the men? Do they love it too? They said the women do.
I don't know.
What's Bond doing? I think he's attempting re-entry, sir.
I
My
don't
name is
understand
Bond.
the rules of my
James
jokes,
Bond.
brother. I don't understand. I just make the
They
joke.
snuck in my back door when I wasn't looking.
He can get you laid in here with a woman.
Oh, thank God.
So who snuck in the back door?
Oh, God.
You're a lying dog faced pony soldier.
Oh, my God.
Wow. This show's fucked.
What we're dealing with here is a complete lack of respect for the law.
That's one of the best lines in the whole movie.
Yep.
This is Sheriff Buford T. Justice. I'm in pursuit of a black Trans Am. He's all mine, so stay out of the way.
You know what, Mr. Lieutenant? I feel this. I'm glad you know this thing because I feel the same way tonight. I feel like we're on an extra level compared to what we normally are. Like, there's normally a great level, but tonight feels like a little extra tonight. It's great.
More than just the tip tonight.
Yeah. Tonight, you're getting the full
You got
girth
2
of it
knuckles,
all.
baby. 2 full knuckles.
I love the CB slang for listen to that. You know who that is? That's Evil Knievel. He just snuck in my back door.
Oh my God.
Oh, my face hurts. Oh, dude, I love this is where he contacts all the other truckers.
Yeah.
And the truckers straight up are like, hey, no, we got this, man. We got you, bro. Like, we're gonna make this shit happen. We're gonna help you bring the booze back to land because Red Shirt, I want to bring this to you because you highlighted on a great thing before stream about the critics and their opinions on this movie. And I feel like this relates to what I'm saying now because if you take out the fun and the dialogue and the casting and the music, if you actually put it all into perspective, it is a paper thin story, but it's what they do with that paper thin story that makes it oh so fun and entertaining and rewatchable that I feel like a lot of critics failed on their delivery of reviewing this movie because they didn't think about the execution. They just thought about the simplicity.
But often
exactly.
the simpler the idea, the better, because then you can do
agree.
so much more on top of it. Yeah,
You can.
But
Go
that's
ahead,
but yeah, to some of the critics, I mean, you know, if it's not if it doesn't have layer upon layer upon layer to the story and subtext and this and that, then they're not interested, because to them that's a sign of lack of intelligence and creativity. And there were critics that recognized this movie isn't trying to be anything but a absolute blast to watch. It's a fun, it's a movie that's intended to have fun. And then there are the critics who literally just said this is abject stupidity. You know, that they couldn't stand the idea of a movie that didn't conform to their standard for a good movie.
Well, it has to mean something to them, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Where's
and this
the
movie
message?
didn't have to. Yeah, and
where's
this
the
movie doesn't
message?
mean
There you
anything.
go.
So, you know, this movie is all about, do they win? Who wins? That's it. This is an escape movie. It's an escapist movie. He's trying to escape from Sheriff Justice. Who's going to win this? It's like, it's with all the comedy. You strip all those other things away, you get Steven Spielberg's Duel. You know, McLeod in a car, and then the faceless truck driver in a tanker truck trying to kill him.
Well, he did another film before he made it big that was a chase film.
Sugarland Express.
Sugarland Express.
Yep.
And look, Bandit's got a fan club here waiting for him in the van by the river.
What are the odds that it's all women? I think that's weird.
It is. And here's one of the better.
Somehow.
Fan club.
Here's one of the better lines in the movie. I love this line.
The fact that you are a sheriff is not germane to the situation.
The goddamn Germans got nothing to do with it.
And that's a
great
line.
writing.
That is a line worthy of All in the Family. I can hear Archie Bunker doing that line as a malapropism.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh,
yeah. But the thing is that the humor in this is clever. It's situational. It's not the humor's not stupid. If you go watch, for example, watch Gumball Rally. To me, not Gumball, Cannonball Run. It's still Burt Reynolds, but the humor is much more puerile. The humor in this, yeah, there may be some toilet jokes, and Jackie Gleason walks out with a toilet paper attached to his glasses because he didn't tear a piece off. Yeah. but you know, but it's not completely gutter humor, and there were critics who called it that, and I don't think it is. I think it's very cleverly put into the situation just to punctuate a conversation, like, you know, sleep. Want to bet? That's just two words, yeah. and it makes that whole conversation right there. You laugh. So I know. I think this
part
is
of that clip. Yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah.
Shut up, one shit at a time. All right.
I mean, whatever critic said this isn't a good movie or, you know, well written, it's like that's why it works, right? Because the comedy and Jackie Gleason's so great. Burt Reynolds is perfect as the bandit. I mean, he's just, you know, and back then he was, you know, popular too, but, you know, the good looking guy getting all the ladies, and Sally Field's pretty damn cute, and just that fun give and take. And they're not, and I got a bunch of clips for the end of the movie, but they're not really nasty to each other. It's more like it's more fun. It's they're yelling, but it's more like there's a mutual respect at the end of the movie. We'll play some of those clips when we
I'll
get.
highlight a toxic line before Richard intervenes. When Buford says to his son, "There's no way that you came from my loins." As soon as I get home, first thing I'm gonna do is punch your mama in the mouth. When I heard that, I was just like,
"That's right."
Best line in the whole movie. Can you back up two frames there just for a second?
Sure thing. Yep. 1, 2. Oh, they all. Is that
two
the
more, two more back?
2 more.
That's the next one there.
Hello.
I'm trying to see. Hang on, just hold it there for a few more.
Oh, for a few minutes. Are you trying to look? What kind of carburetor do you think that is, Tom, on that car? I'm trying to. I can't figure out what is that.
It's the exhaust. I'm trying to figure out the exhaust system.
Camel Toe 2.
The exhaust system's the
something like that. Anyway, yeah. We're good.
We're good now.
Oh, you figured it out now? Everything works?
Oh, everything's working fine there. They're just all fine.
How are you?
The thing I just occurred to me that Burt Reynolds told the story. One of the very first chases in the film, Burt pulls behind a building. He shuts off the car lights. The cop goes by behind him. He's looking out the open window behind the car, checking on whether the cop sees him. And all you hear is the music. You hear a soundtrack at this point because Hal Needham is directing him as he goes. He says, "All right, I want you to pull up slowly. When I say stop, stop. You'll be directly across from the camera. Then you can just turn, look straight into the camera, smile, and then drive off." So Burt does it. He slowly creeps along, and then he looks down, and then he looks right into the camera, gives a big grin, turns, and drives away. And Hal Needham yelled cut, and Burt said, I started to back the car up because I figured he'd want to do it again. And Needham said, "No, that's good. Print it." And Burt said, he says, "And you have to understand Hal to understand this." He said, Burt said to him, "You have some serious cojones breaking the fourth wall like that." And Hal Needham said to him, "Breaking the what?" He didn't understand the concept. He just knew that the audience loved Burt Reynolds, and Burt Reynolds was going to bring the audience in as part of his fan club through his run as the Bandit. And it works perfectly because the audience is part of his cheering section from that moment on in the film, because he looked right out at the audience and then split into this ear-to-ear grin.
I think that was the second moment where he did, because there's that first moment where he was looking. He kind of like did another quick glimpse, look and smile earlier, or much of the I mean, guys on the panel or even the chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like he also did it. I feel like he did it twice in the movie. One of much earlier in the movie. I mean, what did that not happen? I feel like he did twice. As like a reminder of like, hey, you're still here with me. The second to me was like a hey, Mars Monkey Max said yes. Okay, I'm assuming he's responding to what I said. Yeah. So twice he did. Oh man, see it
was a theme, yeah.
Yeah, it was a theme.
Oh, and this is a special request from Gerry here.
Hey, Bandit, this is Little Beaver. Put your foot on the floor. We got your back door, and I'm cleared.
That's a 10-4.
I'd like to ask her, is that factual, your name?
Why does she have your back door, Gerry? Don't you need it yourself?
I don't know.
Man, the thing is, the more that Gary's backdoor is used, it's probably gets a little bit easier, looser to do some breaking and entering.
You need use the anti-seize.
He probably needs to have an expansion to make sure the reach and.
Well, I don't want to say my ass is expanded a lot, but when I fart, it sounds like this.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like Scott, you got really. It's gonna be a stretch to make you actually feel anything.
All the girls used to call me Spring Zephyr. I'm sorry, I'm trying to say that with a straight face. I couldn't do it. We call him Spring Zephyr because it sounds like a breeze going by when he farts.
Oh, my face!
Yeah, I love this. This is another one that's cleverly written. They're just looking for me, man. They don't know who you are. And he says, "Oh, they don't, do they? Well, let me come up front and introduce them to the snowman." And that's why he's able to barge his way into the fairgrounds with the truck.
Mm-hmm. This is one of those scenes that works best for its time because you see all the state troopers involved, and they're at this point. If this had come out in more of the modern times, they would have tried to find a way to have colluded and got together a lot sooner. Like, honestly, to be fair, it probably would have taken off like an hour off the movie in modern times. This is one of those things where it works best in this context of this time. Right. Yeah, like I'm not like even if a remake matched the quality, just imagining that. Even though I'm a purist of originals mostly, outside the Thing. This is one of those movies because of the time it was made in. It works to his advantage in so many ways. With the radio calls to the other truckers, the Southern vibe, the way the law responds. It doesn't work when you take those elements out because it doesn't feel like the same movie in that regard. And yes, Mecha J, I'm with you, and they better not remake this. But however, I'm sure they're already contemplating it, if not have thought about it. So yes, it is a product of its time in the best way possible. Shadow Chaser, thank you. No, you cannot it's not that you can't, you could. It's that you shouldn't. And you should be
not.
like Back to the Future.
Yeah.
It's like, I won't remake this. And
yeah.
That's once again, it's not like you can't make a movie that rips off, has shameless homages, tributes to Smokey and the Bandit. You could. When you make something different enough that separates it, but also pays enough respects. That's what I've always said is to make your own name. When you go that route, that's fine. But didn't just go with your own name at that point.
Yeah, they did that in Cannonball Run when they're trying to figure out what car they should drive in the cross-country race. Somebody suggests to Burt Reynolds, how about a black Trans Am? He goes, nah, it's been done.
Nah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that will definitely be part of our part 2, like of Burt Reynolds month. Between Cannonball Run, Whorehouse.
This is a real race, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Is it? Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's about as fucking
Gumball
wacky.
Rally and Cannonball Run were both about that cross-country race.
Yep.
I got another clip here to play so I can add some more for Gerry.
May I say you're the goddamnedest pursuee I ever pursued. Now that the mutual bullshit is over, where are you, you son of a bitch?
You son of a bitch.
I'm glad you highlighted that, Mark, because it reminds me their relationship throughout this movie is really intriguing because even though he's been on the chase for him throughout this entire movie, there's almost feels like there's like a sense of like a respect from Buford to Bandit, and even Bandit to Buford. Like, yeah, I'm outrunning you, and oh crap, you're showing me off. I don't like what you do. They are just like him, but there is almost a small matter of respect for each other because they know that this is a thing. Even Buford says that this is the most of a fight I've ever had to deal with. He kind of admires him in a way too. And I thought, wow, that's really freaking cool. That has it. And yes, this has a great. Oh man, it's a wonderful final confrontation. The fact that he's right next to him, and he even gets the decency to say, "Oh man, I can't lie to you." He had every right reason to do it. One of those rare sessions where you have the right to, and he's just like, "I don't have the heart to do it." Once again, it shows you
over your left shoulder.
I got this clip. Yeah, I got this clip.
He did respect Buford. He did respect him, even though he was not a fan of what he was trying to do to him. He did have a respect for him. His respect was genuine. It didn't come from a shady place at all.
I definitely did. But this is one of Gary's also favorite lines, I think, too.
I gotta barbecue your assy molasses.
Barbecue your ass.
I gotta play that again.
I gotta barbecue your assy molasses.
Now in the Army, my drill instructor would say, I'm gonna smoke your ass or I'm gonna barbecue your ass. It was funny because he had a southern drawl too, and always reminded me of Buford Justice.
Who that? This is Bandit Darble talking.
Where are you, you son of a bitch?
I broke him up. This is towards the end of the movie, so this is the night, the line here where they're, mutual respect towards each
Before
other.
I tell you where I am, Sheriff, there's just one thing I want to say. You must be part coon dog, because I've been chased by the best of them. And son, you make them look like they're all running in slow motion.
once again, that admiration and respect for each other. I love that. I love that so much about this movie. You don't see those type of things often in old and modern. So it really does make it feels like it adds to the tension of that relationship. But anyways, Vulcan Lives, thanks for being here, buddy. Have a great night, sir. I'll see you Friday. By the way, Friday night, we'll be talking Spider-Man, Stan Lee, John Romita Jr., 41 through 44. And I'll have a video out by Thursday or Friday as well. Thanks for being here, Vulcan. Take care, man. Anyways, let's continue because we're at the near end of the movie. And we are officially now 2 hours into the show. And we still have almost our entire audience here.
That's awesome.
Throughout this. This is fucking awesome. Thank you, chat, for being
How many
here.
does the show's watching right now?
What's up?
How many does the show watching right now?
67.
67.
Oh shit!
Really good.
That's super
That's
chats.
good.
Nick the Greek for $1.99. So sorry I'm late, but how great is Burt Reynolds? $1.99. Thank you, Nick.
He's superb.
Once again,
He's great.
He's wonderful. He's amazing. He's, as Keanu Reeves likes to say in recent years, he's breathtaking. So that's what I got to say about that. But thank you, Nick. Appreciate that, dude. Do catch the replay of the rest of this. We have had a fucking awesome show tonight on this one. It has been great, especially now that we're at the tail end of the movie and these final scenes, and the fact he does that one last showing up Buford Justice. Yeah, that's a spirit. Yeah.
Towards the end of his life, he did say that Sally Field was the love of his life before he died. He screwed up really big because the fight started over him refusing to attend the Oscars when she won.
Yeah.
You know, I kind
not
of
without my daughter. Not without my daughter.
I kind of get it why he didn't go. I mean, there's a part of me that respects that, but yeah, I can also understand on the flip side, like, oh man, fuck.
I think that was for Norma Ray.
No, I was gonna say Norma Ray.
Norma Ray,
Yeah.
okay.
What was that fight over?
He was getting nominated and was possibly going to win for Best Actress, and he was not happy over her nomination, and there was like resentment, jealousy, whatever you want to call it, and he refused to go to the Oscars with her. So I think she had her dad or somebody go with her that night.
It's pretty rotten. Yeah.
There's no way that you could come from my loins.
And I got the next line coming up.
This seems like a good point to point out something I read, that according to his daughter, this movie was a guilty pleasure for no less than Alfred Hitchcock.
Yep.
I don't believe in guilty pleasures. I'll just say that as a shameless contrarian to that stance. To me, I've always liked what I like, no matter how popular or less popular it was to me. As long as I liked it, that was great. Now, obviously, if I found people who enjoy the same things as me, obviously that's wonderful. It's amazing. And of course, I'm going to be over the moon about it, because it's like, it's that extra person to have that conversation with, and it gives you a good starting point, and becomes one of those things where you can have that conversation with that person, even though you just met each other. You could talk to each other like you've known each other already for hours, months, years, just because of that thing that brought you together. And people on the outside will think that you've been friends for years. It's like, no. We just have this thing that brought us together. It's that type of thing. So that's for me. I've come to my conclusion that way, whether it's movies, comics, music, pretty much the things that cover on my channel. They all come from a place of authenticity, because as Robert Meyer Burnett says, authenticity is the best currency. Shout out to R&B.
As soon as I get home, the first thing I'm gonna do is punch your mama in the mouth.
French King Eric K in the house.
Hey, Eric K.
Yeah.
Oh, and here we go. Might as well finish off the clips.
Yeah,
here.
well, we
Let's finish
may
it
as
off at the
well.
end.
I'm right down the bottom of the hill, Sheriff. I'm 6'8" in a cowboy outfit. I got a little pygmy standing right beside me, dressed just like me. You can't miss me. 10-4. Look over your left shoulder. We're on our way to Boston to get some clam chowder. Bye-bye.
Brian, to answer your comment, he technically did return. He did a cameo for 3. And to be fair, I don't blame him if he didn't show up at all, period, because I did do my homework into that, and he was not happy with the way the second movie turned out. And to get him to come back for a cameo capacity is a miracle. It's a straight up miracle. So
It was most likely a favor to Jerry Reed.
Probably was. He had that really because Jerry Reed was one of the glues that was holding this.
I believe his cameo was during the reshoots too, because the movie was shot without Jerry Reed. It was literally called Smokey is the Bandit. And it was called Smokey is the Bandit, and it was about like basically Buford having a split personality where he's both the bandit.
Oh my God, that sounds
and
awful.
he's chasing himself. I shit you not. They shot the movie this way.
Holy crap.
Tested so horribly. They went back and reshot most of the movie with Jerry Reed, and they talked Burt Reynolds into the real quick cameo. But yeah, so even Jerry Reed wasn't originally in the movie. So yeah, it was all effed up. And this is like one of those Hollywood like legends, like out there somewhere is this alternate cut of the film where it's Jackie Gleason playing the bandit role. And this is also why he keeps seeing Jerry Reed as the bandit as well. It's like this. So it's the whole time he's seeing himself, he's just chasing nothing, basically. Like it's really fucked up movie.
Terrific.
Weird.
It reminds
like
me
an
of
art house movie.
Psychedelic.
De Niro, Mickey Rourke movie where he's a detective hunting himself for the devil. Remember the movie?
And then that's also why they had like the brothers and stuff come in too later on and shit. It was all like, yeah, they went and reshot a bunch of it. And
I'll tell you the name of that film, by the way. It's
Oh,
Angel
yes.
Heart. Angel Heart. The detective is looking for himself.
Angel
as the killer.
Heart.
Angel Heart. Yeah. That was with the girl from the Cosby Show.
Yeah, when she got in trouble and got fired from the show because she did a sex scene.
Yeah. And here's Jackie going nuts at the end of the movie. Comedy legend, yeah.
And you got to feel some empathy for him because he paid for a wedding.
Yeah.
That's what he's
$40.
really pissed about.
He thought he was getting rid of his son. Yeah.
And his son, I was looking at the actor played his son. He played Tarzan at one point. He was he's a pretty big dude, Junior. So I was looking up his bio, but he played Tarzan, I think, in the 50s.
Mike Henry, yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to get him angry. God, you see the
Because like he did it, and then it went to Ron Eli. Eli took over and started playing it on TV.
Whoa!
Oh, B Mart
Run.
Whoa!
We love it. We love Cannonball Run.
Yeah.
Yep.
B Mart. Hey. He's done this, and I'm still blown away. B Mart.
Huge.
$20 says, does anyone like Cannonball Run? Oh, you damn right we do.
Mm-hmm.
You damn right, sir. You damn right. We're going to make sure not only does Burt Reynolds 2-month happen, which was already going to, but we're going to make sure that happens this year rather than wait till next year. That's got to happen this year. We need Cannonball. We need Whorehouse. We part 2 needs is inevitable. Thank you for that $20, man. That is fucking nuts. That's generous, man. That's generous. Thank you, sir. I highly appreciate you. Please come to a meetup so you and I can have pizza. Please. Okay. And as the movie gets to the credits and stuff.
Well, we did the reach around, but I got one more toxic clip.
Yeah. Share that toxic clip.
I'm uploading it right now, so it'll be
good.
a couple seconds. But
Well, they good. Chat as he's getting that last toxic clip. Get your scores buttered up, and I will slide through them, and it's gonna be glorious. Okay, glorious. Oh man, this has been a fucking this has been one of the shows, man. I'll tell you about it.
Win some awards for this one, yeah.
Oh, I know, right? No, I've had an extra load of fun today. It probably helps on a buzz, but holy shit!
Drinking
Action
a lot of Coors?
Oh no, God no. Action Comp says toxicity 6 out of 10, boys. Overall, Brian Barth, toxicity 10. There you go. Yeah. Well, we're all about buttering it. But remember, it's got to be that salted bar, not that weird, non-salted bullshit. Okay. We are here about real butter, not margarine, not non-salted, not that undercover Fed shit that they plan on January. Not that shit that they plan on January 6th. We have real butter, salted. So yes, I did make that comparison to the Feds in January 6th with butter. I did, and I will do it again.
Went there.
I straight up went there, folks. Anyways, as Mark gets his clip.
Oh, here's the last real toxic. This is a really toxic clip.
Oh, you got it.
And you're kind of cute like a frog, and I'd like to jump you.
Great double entendre there. That's the classy way to do it, right?
Little did you know, this car you saw in the beginning would be the payoff to the end of the movie. Can we add that too as well? Because they end up transferring over to that car at the end. Setup, payoff. And I've never seen you here before, but I love your name, Cheesy Tarian. Fed Butters.
Cheesy Tarian, good guy, yep.
Fed Butters, I can't believe it. Not crap. There you go. Yeah. See, you got your priorities straight. Welcome to the show, Cheesy Tarian. Hopefully you've been enjoying. Don't know how long you've been here, but thank you. Mecha J says Toxic 7, Butter 10. And then Mr. Zen 94. And he gives us a 9 out of 10 for Toxic. He's only seen the movie once. But it's trying to remind him of how funny it was. Hell yeah. Now, dude, no, this is an extra fun show tonight. Thank you. Thanks for being here, man. Good to see you again. I know it. And then Shadow Chaser says toxicity is a 20. And I'll highlight Rob Altus's comment. And he says toxicity is an 8.5. Holy shit. There's his other scores, so you all in the chat can see it. And Eric K for $5. Thanks, Eric. Says, fun fact, Jackie Gleason had a true photographic memory. Drove his co-stars nuts because he did not understand that others were not prepared. I did hear about that. I believe that. That seems like his thing is with the way he rolled about in scenes in this movie. I believe it. Thank you, Eric, for the 5. And then Poker Race 6666 10 10 10 10 10 10. All right, we'll let our men go through first. And Tom, I'll let you go first on your toxicity scores.
Wake up.
Tom. Oh, you can always come back to Tom. We'll let Backdoor Gerry go.
Look, man, this is I would call this like the perfect amount of toxicity. Period. I don't know how I can give it a score, man, because this film is so great. It's just God. I just love this movie so much. I would give it a perfect score across the board on the writing, the directing, the acting, the comedy, and the toxicity. Just a perfect score.
Okay. Awesome. Sounds buttered up.
What are your damn numbers, Nick? Fuck you.
Oh man. All right. 70s. Go ahead and talk about your toxic score.
Before I do that, I don't have a lot of Gerry Reed in my collection, but I do have Gerry Reed on this. He's in a track on this album, which is one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite album covers of all time.
Oh, that's a glorious cover.
Redneck Mothers.
Ooh.
Is it Guitar Man? Is it Guitar Man? Is that the song?
No, it's not Guitar. It's hang on. It's called A Redneck in a Rock and Roll Bar is the track.
Ooh, yeah.
But yeah, Redneck Mothers. It's one of my favorite covers of albums. Never mind the music. I just love the cover.
No, I love that. You know me, we're suckers for when the cover draws you in.
Oh yeah,
that's like okay.
Redneck Mothers. Brian knows this is that Gerry Reed pulled off something that not many musicians could pull off. That he got the rights to release a song that Elvis was going to cover of his, called Guitar Man.
Yeah.
And what's funny is none of the guitarists that Elvis had could play the guitar like Gerry Reed, so he hired Gerry Reed to play guitar on his version of the song. So the guitar licks are exactly the same when you listen to them side by side.
Yeah,
you knew that, Brian.
Well, I maybe knew it. I don't recall, but I know the song "Guitar Man," obviously. But and also, as we all know, Redneck Mothers make better lovers, as Neil Young once said. Actually, it was Welfare Mothers, but never mind. I just adapted it. Toxic. Is it a toxic movie? I swing both ways on this.
Oh yeah.
Is it toxic? Isn't it? I'll give it 7 some bitches out of 10 for toxicity.
Calling a girl frog because he wants to jump her. Come on, dude.
I know, right?
That was riveting.
He really
She also drives at one point, so you got to deduct some toxic points for that. So sorry, I was for a second. I guess if I had to,
it's your turn now.
City of the film, I'd just give it like a 7 or an 8 because of that. Otherwise, if it wasn't for that bit, it would be a full-on 9 or 10, definitely.
Yeah, but when she drives straight through 3 mailboxes.
That's true.
Obviously,
so add another point back.
She's not as good a driver as he is.
8.
Some bitch.
Okay, so we got a 1-2 punch of 70s and Tom Connors there. Okay, awesome. So Mark,
you got double the penetration there.
Oh, well, I don't know how to follow that one, but I'll try.
and one man can follow some penetration. It's Mark.
Yeah, I will try. But just this is one of those great fun movies you can watch anytime it comes up on TV. You can just it's like when back in the old days when you used to flip through channels and this came up. You'd start watching it again, right? It's one of those movies, and always puts you in a good mood. It's a lot of fun. Ain't a serious movie, but damn, it's toxic. Sheriff Buford, man, he's a toxic old coot. So I'm going with a 9 on the toxicity, and the bandit is toxic just because he doesn't follow the law, and everyone's a rebel here, right? So it's just a great movie, and God, Burt Reynolds is so good in this, and Jackie Gleason, who I love. I've got. And away we go. I've got a picture of him playing golf, going out my door every day. So I always see Jackie Gleason as I'm going out the door. So anyone out here hasn't watched The Honeymooners or some of his stuff, go. I'm sure a bunch of The Honeymooners are
for the future.
Chef of the Future, especially. So go check that out. And I got one more clip coming, which is a public service announcement. So after we're done, I found one other clip that we really shouldn't pass by.
Mark, did you see the video I just posted in the private chat? That's Burt Reynolds in the car with young Burt Reynolds.
I didn't check it out after. Yep.
Kitty Bear posts a minute sounds from the mailboxes that lost their lives for this movie. That's funny.
Yeah,
that's fucking funny. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna highlight
a lot of fun tonight. Yep.
Oh no, it really was extra fun. I'm gonna highlight these. Josh posts right here. Toxicity 1010, and those are his other scores for all of you in the chat to take a quick glance at. And now Brian Barth 1010 as well. 11 Alpha 11 1010 top 10 on the list of movies I've seen the most times. Nice. And then Rob Altus, there is Diversity and Female Power, hence my 8.5. TZ Toxic 9. And there's all the rest of the scores for TZ. You can see them there. All right, take a quick look. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. Phoenix says the only rating I can give is thumbs up. Eric K, who's been a member for 4 months, says Gerry Reed also made the Colonel Elvis pay him for every album and single sold.
Damn
Not
right he
just
should
flat
have.
rate like the Colonel wanted.
Damn
That's
right.
called you fight for your worth. You get what you negotiated,
Yeah.
and he did. You know what? I'm glad that he did, man.
Damn
So
right.
that's good.
Nobody at that time could play guitar like him. Picked the way he did. He picked really odd. It was great guitar.
The only person who could give him a run for his money was Roy Clark.
Yes. Oh my God, Roy Clark.
Elvis's guitar player James Burton was pretty good too. I mean, he was a good guitar player.
Yeah, but he
James
wasn't
Burton.
able to that was the one that was trying to do the guitar, and he couldn't figure out how to do the guitar the way Gerry Reed was doing it.
TZ, are you talking gilded? Let me know, man. Clarify that to me. Anyways, Red Shirt. Go ahead and sign off on your toxicity thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, this movie starts off with fat shaming, height shaming. He's making fun of the curlers in Cletus's wife's hair. He just goes on and on and on. He just assumes that all women want him and all men want to be his friends. And that is a masculine attribute that today is just flat out considered toxic masculinity in its purest, distilled in a mountain still in a thicket somewhere in the Ozark Mountains. That's where that comes from. Sheriff Buford T. Justice. I mean, even on TV when he was modifying some of his swear words and everything, they still censored some of the stuff that he was saying. Even the stuff that wasn't actually a swear word. So, or, like a true epithet, it was a made up swear. And it just, the whole situation, the bit with the black sheriff and, hey boy, who is Sheriff so-and-so? I mean, that right there, boom. Okay, now we got the race card thrown on this one. That's a yellow card right there. It is a very toxic movie. It was considered in fun back in the day. I mean, yeah, there are empowered women, and I'm joking about Sally Field driving through mailboxes when she drives the car, but every woman in this film just wants to be with Bandit. That's why they all want to help. They just love him. All the women love him. And, by today's standards, there isn't a single feminist in here. There isn't a single sensitive male character in here. Nobody's in touch with his feelings. I'd give it a 9 for toxicity because this just punches so many buttons all through the movie. It's just fantastic in that regard. Not to mention it's a hell of a lot of fun.
No, man, you are. It is a fucking tons of fun. Red Shirt, thank you for your score, sir. And yes, anyways, my thoughts, I'm going to give this one an 8 in toxicity. I mean, Burt Reynolds' character of Bandit he is a freaking, God, he spreads like the Kung Flu did in the 2020 with his delivery of toxicity. I mean, that alone, his delivery alone is very toxic. Back then, even to now, it is. I don't know how that couldn't even be considered put into conversation. That is toxicity. It's timeless toxicity, might I add. Timeless toxicity, we'll call it. So please. And as this is going on, Radioactive gives us 10 memberships. Holy shit. Dude. Holy shit. That's crazy, Radioactive. Hopefully you're doing well, but damn. That is nuts. Wow. He didn't just give 10 memberships, but Radioactive gifted 10
Huge
memberships. Thank you, Radioactive. That
Awesome.
is fucking crazy generous of you, sir. Thank you. That is nuts. So if you're the Nightwing, Frank Hammond, the Cheese Factor, Penny, Rice Ball, Mass Gray, Phoenix Night White, 11 Alpha, Brian Barth, Rita Muhammad, you're all huge members. All of you. Thank you. Holy shit. Anyways, on the score, Sally Field had her moment of toxicity with the way she was driving that car, the Trans Am.
Yeah.
Come on, you can't tell me that it's not. Obviously, Jackie Gleason as Buford T. Justice. What a performance and a half. One that's almost on par, if not exactly on par with Burt Reynolds' Bandits. Straight up, pound for pound, equal performance level. A nice hour, 36 minute to the point movie of greatness. No PC-ness, no feminist in here. Just a fun time. This is one of those movies, as Burt Reynolds said, you put on a Saturday, rainy afternoon, and just go for the ride. Pun completely intended. And I absolutely love this movie. In love with this movie. All the documentaries, shows, spinoff were, well, inferior. But who cares? Because this one movie here was almost lightning in a bottle. Almost. If not, it was. You decide. Chat decides because customer is king. Yeah, once again, thank you, Radioactive, for gifting 10 memberships. But guys, that is Smokey and the Bandit. That is Burt Reynolds month part 4. That's Burt Reynolds month in its entirety. Thank you, guys. We will do part 2. We'll make sure we'll do it this year too. Maybe around like September, August. It has been fucking fun. We had a lot of memories, even though most of them were mustacheless. This has been such a fun ride to go through this. And then I have people here. Once again, I saw some new faces too. Seriously, this is what it's about. Still to this day, we're getting new faces here. So
we're not scaring anyone away.
Rob's like, thank you for doing this every week. Truly one of my favorite streams of all. It's cool that there aren't more people. Dude, it's thank you for that comment, but it's about who's here, man. That's what I look at it as. It's about here. Obviously, the more popular the movie, the more people we bring in because people like things based off of what they recognize. Not even relevant. It's when you can bring in those people who there's lesser known movies. And then they're still here anyways. It's all good. For a more popular movie, less popular, I just appreciate your time. But thank you, though. Seriously, it is all good. But guys, anyways, also welcome to Show Disney Parkinator. Haven't seen you around here. Hopefully you enjoy your stay here. Please catch the rest of the show if you missed it. Next week, it's like, how do you follow up Burt Reynolds month? How do you do it? How do you fucking do it?
I don't know.
Well, next week we're talking. Have you? Yeah, I want the chat to respond to this really quickly before we plug our plugs on the way out. But chat, I gotta ask you: have you heard of this movie called Tropic Thunder? Have you heard of it?
We're going to the tropics. Cool.
Have you heard of Tropic Thunder? Have you heard of Tropic Thunder? I just want to like I'm listening here. Have you heard of Tropic Thunder? Because I think we're talking about next week. And well, I want to see all you people who are here. I want to see all of you here. Oh, I see those guys are flowing in. There you go. That's what I like to see. That enthusiasm, that energy. It's like we're the ultimate warrior. We're all energizing from the 9 realms and becoming a one warrior nation the way we are.
Yeah, buddy. And once again, and it's not bragging. I'm just pointing out my boss was the military advisor on the film.
Ooh.
Very cool.
They tried to get him to play the Nick Nolte part, and he wouldn't do it because he felt it made Vietnam vets look bad.
Hey, thank you, Jonathan Conroy, for being here. I love seeing comments like that. Oh yeah, no. Hey, dude, even if you don't catch live, there's the replay. We'll make sure we bring our A game for you, Jonah. Thank you for what you do for DC Comics. Yeah, it's gonna be.
Are we still allowed to watch that movie? I thought that isn't that been banned everywhere, and it's
Don't know. Don't fucking
Jonah
care.
Hex,
If it gets
it's terrible.
demonetized, if not outright removed. Now next week will be a
Comics were
good
great.
excuse. Next week will be a good excuse to get the Rumble side stream going. Next week will be the start of that. So that way, in case it does get removed, there's always fucking Rumble. But anyways, this is it, folks. We're gonna plug our plugs on the way out. And Jonah Hex, that is a badge of honor. Eating 3 slice pizzas.
Awesome.
That's not worthy of that, but thank you. And dude, we're always about the hot butter with the salt and the lube. That's what's all. Remember, it's as long as it's salted. That's very important. Anyways, on my channel this week, Friday Night Comic Shop Talk, D-Bud Martin will be joining me and the dudes. We'll talk at ASM, original OG Spider-Man. That's gonna be a blast. Issues 41 through 44, and I'll have a video on the original Marvel Comics Bill of Rights at a time when they valued customer service. So in case people are like, oh, they didn't care about what the customer said, I'm going to prove a receipt for that. So look out for that video. Look out for that stream. See you next week for Tropic Thunder. And of course, I'll be on Midnight's Edge After Dark Thursday night, along with Comics Division's Thursday Night Throwdown. That's what's coming out on my side of the pond. But I'm going to let these other dudes. I already had 27 pizzas of a sorts to a point within 23 days in 2014. So easy. But
No
anyway,
problem for the
back
neck
on
wiser.
topic. Yeah, back on topic before I derail. Yes, that's what come on my side. So if you're new here and you're listening, those are things to look forward to. If I get lucky too, I'll throw in a review for the new Accept album. Until then, I'm gonna let these gentlemen plug their plugs on the way out. And Richard says he has no plug, so he's one less man that I plug. He just didn't want to get plugged for me. So I'll let Mark D with a C be the first plug.
Sure.
Hot and dry.
Thank you. And remind me, there's one clip we have to play before we go. There's a safety tip on the way out, so just to remind me to play that. But great to be here tonight. All-time fun movies. My main show I do during the week is Sunday Night Geekery, 10 p.m. Eastern, and hang out with Clobbering Times and friends, and we talk, whatever's happening in the week. We did a lot of Fallout last week, and we always devolve into some food talk. Sunday Night Eatery, because I love to do barbecue and cooking, and it's just a great fun hangout. So catch that show, and thanks everyone. And I'm also on Thursday night. I'm also on Clobbering Times channel for the Clubhouse, and we're doing a Blake 7 watch party the night before. So we're reviewing Blake 7, and we're also reviewing Kolchak the Night Stalker. So if you follow me on Twitter or YouTube, you can see when those shows are going to be on. And I got a couple of videos out lately on some of the new toys I've gotten. So just check the channel out. You can see I got to do a review of that great car, and then of course you can see I do a lot of 3D printing. So there's a Fallout Boy hanging out there. I got to paint him, but he's hiding. Give this movie a thumbs up too, I guess.
Yeah, I get it, Fallout Boy, because Fallout the game and the band, because the band is from my state.
Yep. So thanks everyone, and it's been fun hanging out tonight. And thanks Eric K for posting all the links here. Yep. Spidey likes the new car too. Yep.
Thank you, Eric, for plugging in Mark's channel. Yeah, guys, go subscribe to Mark USC. He's got Sunday Night Geekery. I need to come back on there, and I'm going to make sure I come soon.
That'd be huge.
It will be huge. It's the only way it should be. It's overdue. Thanks, Mark, for being here once again. A+ with the visuals, sir. Have a great week and weekend. I gotta make sure I come on sooner. I straight up do.
Awesome.
An eternal vigilance. Long time no see. thanks for listening, sir. Glad to hear that you were happy and fulfilled with your show. But man, that is, oh no, we already did. Mecha J. We're gonna let Backdoor Gerry plug his plug.
Oh my, I'm going to do some plugging. Saturday we're going to be doing Rock and Rolla on Saturday afternoon matinee. Monday I'm going to be doing on Military Monday Attack Force Z with Sam Neill and Mel Gibson. And then in a couple of, well, the following Saturday, Tom and I are going to be doing The Departed.
Ooh,
that should be
on
fun.
the Tom and Jerry show?
Yeah. And then the following week, we're going to be doing Fallout, the entire series. We're going to go over that. And I got a military buddy of mine that's an aficionado on Fallout, the game, that's going to come on and talk about the points where they did stick to the game in the show. So that should be fun. Past that, every Wednesday I game, and you can shop if you want
every
to.
Wednesday you're gay.
I'm gay.
Oh, sorry.
I'm very gay.
Not every day. Hey, I mean, it's
not every day because Animal won't let me be gay all the time.
Oh,
I tell her all the time I'm gay for her.
So what you're saying is she has to straighten you out selectively.
It's better than ringing me out.
Oh shite!
I'm done.
Gerry, it's been fulfilling and pleasuring to be with you here on the stream. I hope you're here again next week when we do.
I'll be here next week. I'll be here next week. I'm going to be doing it like that. It's like every 2 weeks I'll focus on work, and then 2 weeks I'll be back. And I try to schedule it with shows that are going to be awesome, like this one. I love Smokey and the Bandit.
No, this was a fucking awesome one tonight. Thank you for being here, sir. And
I love being part of this show. I really do.
I love having you in here.
Do you like having me in you?
Yes. Or an altruist thing.
I'm going to do a new show called Deep Inside Nick.
Oh God, no. Well, I hope by next week's show I'll have shaken off this Vegas flu I got.
Oh,
I knew I was in trouble when I put Eric Kay's. I knew I was in trouble when I put Eric Kay's meat in my mouth. That's when it all went wrong.
It seems like every time there's a Vegas, you know what the problem is? I've not
something like that, yeah.
Okay,
So,
before you continue, 70s, I gotta quickly interject. I've not been to a Vegas meet since 2021, but since I've not gone, every time I've not gone, 2022, 23, 24, it seems there has been a China virus outbreak.
Well, I've come back with something.
And it seems like I need to come back just to make sure people don't get sick next year.
Well, hopefully by next week I'll be better. Either that or I'll shuffled off this mortal coil. I'll be pushing up the daisies, singing with the choir invisible, and other Monty Python sayings. And a great show.
You and your fucking parrots.
Yes, parrot sketch. If we pushed up the bleeding daisies, if you hadn't nailed him to the perch. Had a great show yesterday, a great fun show yesterday in our channel, my channel, about Father Ted. It was a lot of fun, so check that out to be sure. And I'll probably do a video tomorrow, assuming I can actually talk about Shogun episode 10, which was really good, by the way. And I think tomorrow I'm supposed to be appearing on Christian Delorme's Vinyl Revival channel to talk.
Yeah,
about
I've been
music,
invited on there too.
Talk about music from Boston. So I believe that's happening tomorrow,
including the band Boston, who's from Boston,
which is what a coincidence. I mean, who knew?
God.
Who knew?
I knew.
What are the odds?
They're from Boston.
Thursday, I'm also supposed to be appearing on Thursday on Roman of the Empire's channel to talk about metal bands of the 2000s. And then obviously Thursday night Throwdown Comics Division. Saturday night Bourbon and Boarding. Brahma and I we're deep into the playoffs chat. NHL playoffs, of course. Apparently the cheating New York Rangers managed to bribe the refs yet again to win today in a
That was
very
a clean hit.
suspicious
That was a
manner.
clean hit. That was a clean hit all the
And
way.
my team already got beaten once by Vegas, and I expect that will continue. The beatings will continue until our morale is completely destroyed. We'll be having some fun on that show. So join Brahma and I Saturday night for that. And then the whole damn circle continues next Monday on my channel. We're going to be talking about the movie A Boy and His Dog.
Oh,
because we're doing
that's dangerous
in our series of science fiction classics. Dystopia. You want to talk Fallout? This is the movie that inspired Fallout.
It's kind of nodded to in Fallout. Did you know that?
It is. It is, especially the meat of choice. You know, some of the eating habits.
You're trying to hold back.
There is some butt eating in this movie or in this show.
Yes. So yeah, Boy and His Dog will be the science fiction movie of choice next Monday. So thank you for letting me go on at length, Nick.
Well,
I expounded.
When you go on about length, I let you go all the way.
It's not cool when you start getting into girth.
You're not too long. Well, here's an important safety tip for everyone before we leave tonight.
And don't play with yourself. It wouldn't look nice on my highway.
For another time.
Yeah,
you can think about it.
Nick's
going to find you in the morning choke to death on pizzas.
Nick's going to be able to eat for a couple of days now.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you generous son of a bitch.
Some bitch.
Yeah, some bitch in this case. Thank you. And he says, for more pizza, I have the virus. Can't enjoy my deep dish pizza. You know, just because you sent this as a super chat, I'm gonna make sure I get a pizza, not just for me, but for the family. Tomorrow, if not Friday, and I'll make sure I post it on here live in the comic shop.
Any particular family or just your family?
It's just any family in general.
So he's watching
just a family in general.
Yeah, my family, you know, the kids and the ladies. So thank you, dude. No, I'm gonna make sure I get that photo. Take it. We're either gonna go out tomorrow for it or Friday before the comic shop show. But regardless, I'll post it on here live Friday night. Thank you, B. Marte. That is fucking crazy. That's the second 20 he drops tonight. That's the second one. So
Dean said he loves you, man.
I love him. I
not in a weird way.
I want to hang out with him in person and have pizza with him. So, anyways, guys, once again, Comic Shop Talk, Spider-Man Comics this Friday night. Video on my channel Thursday or Friday as well. Mead Thursday, Comics Division, TNT Thursday, Toxic Tuesday, Tropic Thunder next Tuesday. So, thank you again for supporting Toxic Tuesday for all our regulars. Thank you for your continued support. Thank you all for the super chats, the direct donations, for the new subscribers. I hope you love what you saw. I know you did. And I hope you come for more next week. And for my regulars, I'll see you all again soon. This is the part where we say goodbye, good fight, and good night.
I'd like to show you something.
The pace when I'm running, I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no, I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm
You got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky?
You're still here? It's over. Go home.